Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Hit her with a tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hater. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, it a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up, I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you, I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Made little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Maybe put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reef. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man.
What's up, good Vipo? Happy Monday. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing either eyes closed or it's too easy. Because tonight we are going to be exposing and showing plentiful of receipts because we can do this with our eyes closed. I mean, it's just that simple. We just do this with our eyes closed. And I know that some of you are here because you already know that there has been more drama. Surprise, 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 surprise. But not really. Like I told y'all before, this is a soap opera. We have weekly episodes if we wanted to. Just, I don't be feeling like it all the time. It's too much. It's too much. It's too easy, but it's also too much. Darius Cooks has been at it once again, and we're going to talk about it tonight with plenty of receipts. Thank you to everyone who's letting me know that you can hear me by typing it's too easy or eyes closed. We got Life of Londa, Kimyaka, Saint Center, his MJ, Trey Keisha, Nicole, Precious, Misty Blue, Shamika, Alice, Pink Pearl, Sharon, Zebra, Shane. It jumped y'all. So, and everyone else in the chat who is letting me know that you can hear me. And also thank you to my backstage moderators. We have tonight Marianne Coker and also Kimyaka joining us tonight in the background, helping me with the comments and displaying them on the screen and starring any questions and things we can chat about in between our topics. Also, special shout out to Evelyn H, who sent me a super sticker hours ago before the live even started. I just happened to have it on my screen and it popped up as I was setting things up. And I'm like, who's sending super chats? We ain't even started yet. She was looking forward to it, or they were looking forward to it. I appreciate you, Evelyn H, very, very much. And anyone else who has in the past or plans to send any level of support to this channel. Speaking of support, I didn't even put the question in there. Speaking of support, please hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It is greatly appreciated, and that like button helps us to grow and also spread the word that there is a predator out there who is not only victimizing their following of DHAG flying monkeys, but also innocent people who just don't know this scammer exists. They don't know. So, yeah, and everybody's not on social media like that. He thinks he's that popular, and they, as in the DHAGs, think he's that popular. But the world as a whole don't even know this man exists. Also, I'm going to put here in the chat, and I hope I remember to cover it in the end, because I forgot during our last, I don't know, a live or two ago, where I mentioned the exposing Crooks webpage, where it is basically like a quick list of all the different articles, the different videos on him, et cetera, et cetera. And you can just go there if you're like some of the people we're going to talk about today who did not know about him until he scammed them, until he got them, you can peruse that link and it'll take you directly to all those things. It's a little outdated now, but his scams ain't, and they still going on today. Also, thank you so much to Phyllis McBroom, who just sent a super sticker. I really, really, really appreciate you, friend. Okay, so we're going to move right into it. I have these intros a little shorter than I used to. We're still going to be doing some stuff because I do want to start incorporating the missing people again. I really, really do. I got to figure out exactly how we're going to go about it. But we may start doing some daytime hot topic shows where it's just a mixture of topics, and I might include it there. And then the evening ones just do stuff like this where it's kind of a one-off topic. So we'll see. I'm still trying to figure some things out. But anyway, we're moving into Darius Cooks and the latest drama from this weekend. How many of you have knowledge of the origin? Thank you to the 96% of you who have hit that like button, and the rest of you, please hit it as soon as you can. It's greatly appreciated in advance. But the next poll question is, do you know the history or origins of the Dining with Darius Crooks, aka Dining with Diarrhea events, the fan club parties that Darius Crooks currently has and has been running for years? Do you know the origins of it? I'm very, very, very clear. Like from day one, not just what it is, but the origins of it, how it came about, Well, I have I've been doing very, very good with we're building something over here. We're building our archives and stuff, and things are coming together really nicely. So I ran into these posts as I was, doing my stuff. We have from Darius Cooks' own words, when the Dining with Darius Crooks was and Dining with Diarrhea before, I guess, before it became diarrhea, the events, and we have these words from him way back as far as January of 2015. Thus far, that's what we got today to work with. So what I do know is this original idea was actually brought to him about 2008, 2009, when he had a podcast with a chef who goes by the name of Zeta Cooks. She's out of Chicago. She still cooks. She's on social media. She's active. You can Google her. She also does meal prep. She has a fasting group and all of these things. She's a beautiful, beautiful spirit. And that's why Darius had to X her out his life, because he only likes people who can get with his corruption. So long story short, they had a podcast together, and she actually brought up the idea because there was Two Girls and a Ghost restaurant. I think it's still open in Chicago. And they were new back then. And they were starting to also host dinner parties in homes. At that point, he then said, and this was recorded, that's a stupid idea. Who would do that? Blah, blah, blah. Ain't nobody finna be in nobody's house eating, blah, all this. Like he does. He's a know-it-all. Y'all already know this. So he ripped it apart. Fast forward some years later, 2015, this is when he has scammed everyone in Chicago. He's escaped to New York City, living in Jersey, and, lied to get the job he got. I got receipts popping up on that too. Whole timeline coming together, everything. Boy, we're about to rip this thing to shreds in ways we've never done before. Can't wait. Hit that like button if y'all can't wait. Hit that like button if you can't wait. So and actually, if you already hit the like and you subscribe, put a number 1 in the chat if you can't wait for us to rip this to shreds. So anyway, we're going to read. Now we fast forwarded to where Darius Cooks is posting, because he's been very much so like living his life on social media since the early 2000s. I think since the literally 1999 or something like that, because I got stuff dating that far back. So anyway, he goes on in this post to say, this was on January 16th of 2015. He, at that time, was hiding out in New York from all the people he scammed in Chicago. He had reinvented himself. And he says, you have not because you ask not. Now, this is going to be an inspirational post. I should give you a little heads up. This is him. This is how he indoctrinates his followers. So that at this point, remember, he ain't got no money. He broke. He working a 9-to-5, all that stuff back then. This is why his hags are so deeply in love with him, because some of them have watched this journey, but what they didn't understand was that what they saw was a facade, and underneath there was corruption and satanic practices and predatory practices happening. They didn't see that part. So now they see the results of what the perception he gave them, and they think it was gained, in a godly way, and it absolutely was not. That's why he's getting all this smoke. That's why he can't live in peace, and now he's addicted to smoking weed, and he drinking and all these things he did not do when I knew him. He did not do drugs. He rarely ever drank. Now he needs it to function, and he said it before. And on anxiety medication, all these things, that's the devil. They got all up in you. Anyway, so he goes on to say, you have not because you ask not. If you're reading, you can whisper my name in prayer. Oh, if you're reading, can you just whisper my name in prayer? I'm embarking on a lot. For real, my full-time job has me committed to almost 60 hours a week. Then he puts DariusCooks.com. I'm sorry, it's Darius Cooks, but DariusCooks.com. It's taking another 30 hours per week. I'm planning to finish an entire cookbook in 1 month alone, with getting it edited, published, and printed. I'm also embarking on a whole private dinner series starting in March. So the first time that the Dining with Diarrhea event ever occurred, well, that was a more informal one that occurred before this, but when he officially launched it as this is something, a business, was in March of 2015. Pay attention. We're going to have this whole timeline laid out in a minute. So he says, I'm getting to my destiny one way or another, by any means necessary, even signing a deal with the devil. That's what he's saying. You got to read between the lines. I'm getting to my destiny one way or another. I believe he would have gotten to it. It just would have taken a little longer had he done it the right way, but he decided to do it, corrupt way. He says, I know there are people who don't want me to succeed. I'm asking for your prayers for success and against all negativity. Amen, amen. Now he thrives in negativity. Now, if it ain't negative, he don't do it. Now he does negativity for clicks and views. Horrible. So now, he's doing these dining events. He's charging $289 per plate. This is what a plate would look like. He has 7 courses of a taste test, and that's what your plate looks like when you mount it all up on there. Our Thanksgiving plates that we have for free the other day would look better than this, but have at it. But again, this is indoctrination. Then we got another post. This is in March. So that first post was January of 2015. Fast forward to March. Now we're up upon the official launching of the Dining with Diarrhea event. And he says, it's 5:30 a.m. and I'm up, about to shower and get dressed for work. I have a 9-to-5, more like a sun up to sundown. That really pays the bills. Now, another thing is, you see that he lived a life like everybody else, like the majority of society. However, today he forgets all about this, and y'all ain't nothing. Y'all ain't intelligent. Y'all scrubs. Y'all ain't worked hard enough. Y'all ain't doing what you need to do in life. You ain't favored. All these things. Ninja, you started out like everybody else. You just scammed your way to get out of it versus using your gifts for good. So he says, most folks don't know I'm a director for a multi-billion-dollar global commercial real estate firm. We gonna rip this apart a little later too. Says, I wear a suit and tie every day. I worked all last week. Held Dining with Darius Cooks on Saturday. cleaned and wrote more stories for the cookbook on Sunday. Those are the lies from my grandmother's kitchen cookbook he had, or has, where he made up stories and has actually copied stories from some people's other life stories. Craziness. Craziness. Says, now I'm up, headed in for a week of work. The goal is to do DariusCooks.com stuff full time. So now this is him wanting to become a full-time entrepreneur. But in 2015, he was still, that ain't even been 10 years ago. Not even 10 years has he been an entrepreneur, like a full-time entrepreneur. But he got the world all figured out, and y'all dumb. The hard part is staying faithful until the end. Even though I can't see it, I know the table is being prepared for me by Satan. Says, until it's time to dine and the dinner bell has rung, my prayer is to stay faithful, committed, and continue to work in excellence. It's all in God's timing. Or in your case, when you surpass God and go to the devil instead and say, God, taking too long, let me go sign a deal with Satan. This is what it starts to look like by the time you get to, fast forward, almost a decade later. So my point in this is to say, this is great. That's fine. It was fine. Like, I already knew he was a scammer back then. I wasn't even following him. I didn't know what the hell was going on in his life at that point. But it is what it is. It's no hate on someone having a goal, dream, desires, working hard, the rags to riches, pulling yourself up out of bootstrap, all that. I love that stuff. I love those kind of stories. I just watched Tyler Perry's documentary. What's it? Maxine's Baby, I think is the name of it. Beautiful. Had me crying, y'all. I had to grab a Kleenex to get through it. I love a good story about overcoming. So does a lot of people, and that's why the people got invested in him. The problem is when you harm people to do it, that's the problem. That's where my issue lies. So anyway, this is just a few examples of what the Dining with Darius Crooks meals look like. Let me close out this poll. Do you know the history or the origins of Dining with Darius Cooks events? 59% of you said yes, you did know that this started in 2015, started out of, I think his first couple events was out of his own apartment when he lived in New Jersey. So some of you already knew that. 41% of you did not. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. And moderators, if you're free enough, you can have comments on the screen. It's fine. Also, next poll is, would you pay $289 for this as your meal? Also, keep in mind, there's a possibility you might end up in a garage eating it, because this is Dining with Darius Crooks, garage style. People paid $289 to sit in a garage. I'm not exaggerating. You clearly see that they are in a garage. That is an overhead garage door open above them. You can expect chicken fingers. Actually, the salad has chicken fingers in it as well. You can expect swamp soup. I think he calls it gumbo, but it's swamp soup. Looks like it, at least. You can also expect, I don't even know what the hell this is. What's this? I got to read the caption to figure out. Y'all know what that is? Any ideas? Without reading the caption, don't cheat. Reading what they saying it is, what it look like. Does it look edible? It says this is the fifth course. This is somebody, one of the D-Hivers posted it. They're saying the fifth course was salmon, slow roasted with garlic and herb, crispy leeks. Who thought crispy leeks taste like fried onions? This his crowd. And then he got away with serving them that. Thank you so much, Carol Chamberlain, as well, for your super chat, friend. Hey, friend, I'm late but here. I appreciate you. We just getting started. I'm just warming up. I start the show a little slower so that everybody can get up in here when I get to the meat of it. Then we have this here I ran into yesterday. This was posted. This is supposed to be a pecan crusted pork chop in an air fryer. He says, grab the recipe from my new cookbook. Looks like a bee's hornet, like a swarm of bees have landed on a pile of, like a dead carcass on the road. I've seen this before. I've seen, look like he just scooped it up off the side of the road and put it in a pan, or there's a little plate, a bowl, or whatever that is. So the other piece about this whole dining with Darius Cooks thing is that, again, started out as an inspirational story. 99% of y'all said y'all would not pay for that. 1% is, I guess we only got 1% of D-Hags in here tonight. Hello? I'm doing a flying monkey mating call. Hello. Welcome. Enjoy. So Darius Cooks, it started out as an inspirational story, rags to riches. We know he scammed people in Chicago, reinvented himself, moved to New York, tricked that corporate job with a fake resume to be able to get it, got the fake resume and everything. Got that job, then lies to his followers to this day about what he really did there. He says he was an HR director. That ain't what your resignation letter that you posted online says. Anyway, does that, works the 9 to 5, eventually gets to the place where he's making enough as a social media influencer, scamming enough to be able to do it full time and become, a full-time predator. So I know that journey. I'm in that journey. So anyway, fast forward years later, now all the people that have been scammed, I'm not going to go too deep because we're trying to get to the main drama from this weekend, which is him scamming Airbnb homeowner. We're going to get to that in a second, but I'm trying to give you the background leading into all the drama that occurred this weekend when he scammed yet another Airbnb homeowner. So fast forward, people have been scammed, events have been canceled. He had a whole season of his tour, like many dates that got canceled. People, he got kicked off of Eventbrite, owed them $90-some thousand because when the events got canceled, he had already taken that money and he wouldn't refund the money to his D-Hags who he wasn't going to fulfill it. We now know that it was tied to his assistant at the time, who he had duped into reserving those places. And she's going to tell the story. We're going to get to that too. It's a whole thing. So anyway, it all catches up to him back in 2021. And award-winning investigative reporter Randy Travis covered a few of his scams. There were 3 different newscasts, if I'm not mistaken. But one of them in particular was the Dining with Darius Cooks scam. Dining with Darius scam. So we're going to just revisit this for those of you who may not have seen it. Looks like 65% of you have. Some of us need a little refresher as we move through it. Let's see. Let me move. Where is it? Okay, here we go.
Chicken croutons.
That's Darius Williams in this video posted by a fan on YouTube, shot last month in a house in Collier Hills.
So a little smoked ribeye for you.
Williams charges $215 per person for his Dining with Darius events, soon to be $289 next year. He pushes the events on his social media pages, some that claim more than 1 million followers. But house rules on the short-term rental site Vrbo say no events are supposed to be held at this Atlanta home, and the maximum number of guests is 8. There's a lot more than 8 in this video. Williams booked this house for 6 nights.
So he had all these tables set up in there.
Oh, wow.
Toby Jackson manages the house for the owner who works out of state.
I come before the guests and after the guests.
But you don't expect 30 guests in this house.
No, sir, not at all.
An Atlanta city ordinance also required Williams get a special event permit if alcohol was being sold. That YouTube video shows everyone enjoying a red drink, and the person who recorded it laughing on the way home that the red drank sangria is kicking in now. We have blurred her face. We tried talking to Williams at that same house a few hours before his paying guests arrived. For someone who goes live on Instagram multiple times a day, he wasn't in a talking mood.
Come on, I thought you liked being on television. Where are you going?
Contacted later, Williams denied violating any Vrbo rules, but would not provide us proof he told the owners what he was planning to do at his home. He also would not directly answer whether he served alcohol. The owner has since listed the house for sale. It's clear Williams has used the accounts of other people to book the locations.
Like my first week working for him, he was like, oh, I'm having trouble getting into my Airbnb. I don't know what's going on.
A former worker made this TikTok and later sent us proof that she agreed to use her own Airbnb account for Williams' dining events in 2016.
Imagine my surprise when less than a week later, I get an email saying, hey, you owe Airbnb $10,000 because you trashed this person's house.
She told the homeowner Williams was responsible and wound up not having to pay the damages. A spokesperson told the Fox 5i team Williams is prohibited from using Airbnb.
If you're a business owner who f***s up your reputation on Airbnb, you don't have another driver's license. You've got to find another sucker to use their account that's in good standing to continue your business.
In February, a Dallas, Texas Vrbo owner called police to remove Williams when she says she realized what he was doing with her home. She said Darius had blown the electrical system by hosting a commercial kitchen dinner without her permission.
The homeowner wants us out of the home, and we don't know why.
Williams made sure to go live on Instagram to accuse the homeowner of being the real bad guy.
That outlet also doesn't work.
He canceled the rest of the Dallas events, his customers reaching out when they did not get promised refunds. No response from you at all, and no refund for the 2 tickets I purchased. I am out $430 and a plane ticket. How long will it take to get my refund from the Dallas event? He blocked me immediately without responding.
Most legitimate businesses will quickly respond to a customer who complains that they didn't get what they paid for. But Darius Williams routinely ignores complaints to the Better Business Bureau, often blocks people who try to reach him through his social media sites, and then employs a tactic that no legitimate business would dare consider.
It's called doxing, maliciously posting someone's private information. When Danielle Holland anonymously criticized Williams for how he treats his customers, he responded by tweeting pictures of her children.
I see the caption that he put, which was tell Danielle Holland we say hello.
Williams also made public the cell number for the owner of that Dallas house who called police when she realized what he was really doing. He urged his followers to call or text her. He later posted this Instagram video, bragging that the response was so great, police asked him to remove the phone number from his page.
That was, baby, when I tell you, y'all licked that phone up.
Well, according to his schedule, Williams is actually in Savannah this coming weekend for another Dining with Darius paid event. He's going to be serving alcohol. Let's hope he gets the right permits, and let's also hope that he's told the homeowner exactly what he's going to be doing with their property.
Oh,
So that was wishful thinking, Randy. Appreciate your work, your hard work greatly. But it's wishful thinking that he would change his evil ways from what was occurring during that broadcast. So as it was mentioned in that news clip, one of his assistants at that time, let me close out this poll. Let me see. Have you seen the Randy Travis coverage? 60% of you, yes, 40% of you, no. So that's good. You got 40% of you who are now informed of that part of the saga. Now, remember, that was in 2021. So this, I mean, I can tell y'all stuff from back in 2009, but at least from a public perspective, he's been being exposed for a while, a couple years where it's hit the mass, the mass public, the mass media. But anyway, as it was also mentioned in that news segment, his assistant at the time, who goes by the social media name Spunky Brewster on TikTok, and she's funny, she's interesting. Go check her out. She, as you saw, was featured in there because she went to her TikTok and did a video. She was like, "Hey, all these people are coming out about Darius Cooks and all his fraudulent ways." She was like, "He got me too." She talked about how she was a follower of his, and she would notice while watching his live streams that he needed help. Like his stuff wasn't organized, it looked unprofessional, all these things. I'm like, yes, very familiar. Those were some of the things that I was doing in the very, very beginning, you know, when he first started YouTube. So anyway, we all know that. We can still see it to this day. As rich as he claims to be, his stuff is still sloppy in quite a few areas. So she then comes, she tells her story about how she reached out to him as a fan who was like, hey, I do have, you know, 20 years of experience as an administrative assistant. I could help you with some things if you were interested, blah, blah, blah. She says he turns her down immediately. Nope, don't need no help, not interested. She says, fast forward. And she was like, oh, okay, it's fine. Fast forward sometime later, I think she said a few weeks later, he then hits her up and says, hey, are you still interested in the job? Blah, 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 this and that. She says, yes. She starts working for him. And she says within the first, I think, day or two, he then comes to her and he's like, hey, do you know how to do Airbnb? He was like, I'm trying to get on here because I got to, you know, schedule these dinners. And it's not working for me for some reason, blah, blah, blah. So he gets her to start finding properties for him and then pulls her into it and has her end up using her account to be able to book these Airbnbs for his dining with diarrhea events. Now, fast forward, he's using his credit card though, but now she's locked into it where it's in her name and she kind of wasn't. She knew better, but you know how, you know, all of us has had those moments like, I knew better. Why would I do that? How I let them get me? She had one of them moments. And so she is doing them, booking them or whatever. And then she's saying the more she's getting to know him, the more she's like, he is not a good person. He's a scammer, basically. But she said she didn't use those words. I'll use those words. I don't care because he is. But she was saying that basically he's a hustler and he will hustle people. And that's what she started to see about him. She also saw what I've said many times, and I know people don't believe it because of the show he puts on the camera, but he does not care for his followers. In a real way, he does not care about y'all. He cares about y'all money, but he don't care about y'all. So she said she saw that. And one of the examples she gave was there was a lady who was wheelchair bound, and she had basically she purchased tickets to one of the events, and she asked if there were stairs, etc., and if so, could some kind of accommodation be made to be able to help her get into the home. He was like, nah, she on her own. That ain't my problem. These your followers. Also, that's like, I know it's not a commercial situation, but that's also against ADA. It's just also just being a horrible human being. You better pray that some of your karma ain't you end up in a wheelchair so you can see how it felt to that lady when a person who she was trying to support turned on her. She's probably one of the people watching you grow when you was working at 9 to 5, complaining and wanting to make these diabetic inducing meals for thousands of your followers. And then you like, oh, it ain't my fault you're in a wheelchair, whatever. So Spunky was saying that for her was like in other situations like that, where the icing on the cake for her, she was like, I gotta go. I can't work with you. So she quits and she tells him that he needs to stop using her Airbnb account because she no longer works for him. Well, he's Darius Cooks. He's a crook. So he's going to do whatever the hell. He follows no rules. Clearly, y'all already seen this. We've seen it before, but y'all seen it. For some of y'all who knew to seeing the inner workings of this sociopath, she says, don't use my account. She says about a week or two later, or some point later within that month, she then gets a message from Airbnb, and an owner is trying to charge her $10,000 for damages that Darius Cooks has caused to her account. And she then calls him and was like, what's happening with this? And he's like, where's their proof? I don't have no fun. Where are the pictures? Blah, blah, blah. We're going to see this happening again. It's rinse and repeat with him. Rinse and repeat. We're going to see that in a little while when we get to the present day story. So she then shuts her account down because that was the only way she could get him to stop using it. Also, she's like, they're not going to hit me for $10,000 for something I didn't do. So she does all that. What this causes, and this is what people don't know, like you see things happening and then you start being able to put the pieces together. So we knew that back in, don't quote me on the year, but I think it was 2017, 2018, one of them years, 16, 17, 18, one of them. He had a stint of where he canceled a whole slew of Dining with Darius events. This is when he got in trouble with Eventbrite. He wasn't refunding people's money. He came up with I have it, but I have to be able to tag it and all this. But anyway, he was saying, he did a post about his mental health, because it's his go-to thing, my mental health. I can't do it. It's too much. I got to cancel on y'all. But he didn't cancel one day. He canceled a whole slew of them. I want to say 2-3 months of them. So he had to cancel because his employee quit on him and he could no longer use her account. And he had nobody else to go to at that point. So, and they never returned those people's money. Whole thing. Eventbrite ended up refunding most of those people. And that's why you didn't hear so much commotion, in a bigger way with that. And you still don't really, every once in a while you'll hear somebody saying, I was a part of that group, but that's why it kind of got buried under the rug. Because for the most part, people are like, oh, now I figured out you a scammer. And as long as they get their money back, they just kind of move on because they ain't really down with the smoke and the drama and all that. And a lot of people know what he does. A lot of people. I mean, we got years of evidence on it. So the question is, did you see? Okay. Oh, so I forgot. So he does. She comes on there on the Fox 5, well, on her TikTok, but when it hit Fox 5, the newscast, that's when the Flying Monkey like, Massa, what's happening with this? This woman saying you got her paying $10,000 for the Airbnb and you didn't do it in your name. And you tell us you rich and you do everything on your name because you're so rich. So then he runs to his IG Lives, and the narrative he created was that Spunky is an actress and has never worked for him. Now, I wish I had that recorded, but there's accounts of this from people who watched it. I don't have the actual video. Y'all know I want the actual original receipt. I ain't got it in that case. It might show up, but I ain't got it right now. But we got accounts of it. People saying that it happened. He goes on there and says she's lying. He don't even know who she is. So then she replied with her receipts back on her TikTok. So here's a clip. It's very short. And this is actually narrated by, I forgot her name. This is narrated by another TikToker who covered the story.
Darius, now I know you lying. So Fox 5 Atlanta News did another story on Mr. Darius Crooks, and they featured Spunky Brewster's story about him leaving a $10,000 Airbnb bill in her name. Darius got on live and said the girl was a paid actress and that was false. And she got online and posted the receipts. This man's a pathological liar.
So that, again, that's commentary on it. So he gets on there and then she hops on and she's just like, quit playing in my face. She's literally showing screenshot. I've seen the emails between her and, like, I have those emails between her and Darius when he was having her look into certain properties. Like somebody might say, like a follower, like, you can use my house. And he like, could you contact Miss So-and-so and, blah, blah, blah. And then it's email communications between all of them. Why lie about stuff? But most people not going to do this level of digging and investigating and all of that. And they just blindly follow whatever he says. It's like they got their blinders on. So, and he knows that that's the majority of people. And that's why he continues to get people to follow him no matter what he does or says. And then he was claiming also that he has not been banned from Airbnb, which Randy Travis, the news said that they contacted Airbnb and Airbnb confirmed that Darius Cooks had been terminated from being able to use Airbnb. And he flat out he said, that's not true. The news verifies. They're not going to just be saying random ish. That's not how the news works. They have staff that will call and investigate. And if they don't have the facts, they'll say, we reached out and we didn't get a response. or we were unable to confirm. But they're not going to say, no, we talked to Airbnb and they said that, yes, in fact, his account is banned. Just a lying sucker. So we'll also see that it's true because, well, for one, we know it's true because Spunky was doing it. But then the question always was like, well, who's doing it now? Because Spunky was a couple years ago. So it's like, well, but he's still getting Airbnbs and Vrbos. So people were speculating, well, what could he got to be using somebody else's account because he can't get this stuff on his own. Hold on. Stay tuned. Collins on out this poll. Did you see the response from his ex-assistant? And 47% of you say yes. 53% said no. So again, I'm glad that we covered this. This is just saying how needed this is. I know, yeah, I get worn out and I'm like, oh, I'm so sick of talking about her. But it's necessary. It's so necessary to spread the word. I'm going to read some comments and then we're going to, because I don't want them to get too built up, and then we'll move on to the next piece of this where we talk about the first, at least the first document that I have right here, the first situation with a Airbnb owner in Dallas and how he harassed it. And that's partially what was mentioned in the news segment, but I'm gonna dig a little deeper. Again, thank you, Evelyn. And I don't know if I had noticed Phyllis McBroom. I think I did. Thank you so much for your super sticker, friend. And then Carol, of course. Thank you, friend. I've known him since he was the large guy that cooked. Before he came out the closet, and you're right, he definitely didn't indulge in those activities. Yeah. Sunshine, I think you know him from the perspective of a person who's a follower or watcher, but Darius Cooks has never been in a closet. He, well, you know what, I guess he was out. He's been out since he was a teenager for everybody in his real world, everyone, coworkers, everything. However, when he started to get social media success, he then went into the closet, which was just amazing to me. And I never knew this until there's actually an Essence article, Essence magazine article. I forgot what year, but way back, where he's talking about how he loves to like go on dates or have like romantic dates at home and cook for the women he's dating. I'm like, what? I didn't know nothing about this until like a year or two ago when so he was lying, trying to act like, but again, that's how he got some of the women to fall in love with him in the very beginning, because some of them looked at him like a potential, he might be able to date him. We got a whole nother, that's a whole other topic by itself. But yes, he was. So you probably knew of him when he wasn't as popping, all that lip pocketing girl and whatever else he do. I don't do all that stuff. So yeah, you probably, yes. But Darius has always been out. I said all that to say. He's always been out. Did he go to culinary school? What is his background in that regard? No culinary school. He is a self-taught home cook who got on social media and started grifting. He found a grift on social media. He let him tell it. He'll give you various versions of the, this interest in cooking. I will say from the time that he was 19 years old, when I met him, he cooked. He was a home cook. He learned from his mama and his grandmother, just like most of us, learned from our family. And then he took an interest in it and then self-taught himself. I mean, he used to watch the Food Network incessantly. So when you listen to, it's so funny. Sometimes when I hear like his little bogus clips and stuff, I hear all the terminology that I heard on the Food Network. So he literally rehearsed that stuff for years, it's been about a decade now, over a decade for that piece of it, where he was taught by, I'm so bad with names, Jesus. It's on the tip of my tongue, but the lady who did all the butter, the old white lady did all the butter, had all the boys or whatever, boy kid. He learned from her. She got the restaurants and stuff. Sonny Anderson, who he later met in real life and then tried to scam her and then has tried to destroy her reputation ever since. G. Garvin was another one of his favorites. Paula Deen, thank you so much, RJ. Paula Deen, it's a few of them. I could really go down the list. The old lady who this real old, like one of the first ever cooks on TV. She used to talk like this and would say, "You grab the bread." That woman, whatever her name is, he would watch all of that incessantly. So that is how he. So if you watch him, you really pay attention. He's a Julia Childs. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Y'all my other brain. So Julia Childs. So when you watch him, when you know him, when you really understand this big picture like I do, you'll see pieces of all of them. He even started copying off of Tabitha Brown. But because Tabitha Brown is so new and was on her rise and rose way further and quicker than him, because she's doing it the right way, his audience was calling, the followers, not so much the D-Hags because they go for whatever he do, but they were calling him out like, that's Tabitha's words. Why are you trying to be Tabitha? All that kind of stuff. But he's used to doing those things and people not knowing the origins of it, and they think it's original thought from him, and it rarely is. Rarely. That was a long answer, but there you go. Next, he gonna say that his story, and we all know he don't even like his mama. Right? Yeah, the mama issues. That's a whole nother thing. The abandonment and yeah. I just kind of covered that. Who taught him how to cook? He learned it from watching his mama and grandma. I thought he was a payroll clerk. You thought right. No, he worked in payroll, but he will recreate the narrative now. He tells people that he was an human resources director and had a corner office in a high rise and worked for Wake and Crushfield, I think is the name of the company. So yeah, that's the new narrative. And he says he went to New York and got his job in 4 days. And I'm like, as an HR director? What? For one, I knew he was not qualified for that type of position in that big of an organization. I was like, unless I know he always lied on his resumes. I know that for a fact. Again, we were friends, this was, back in the day, but I even verified employment for him back in the day for rent and for him to get jobs. That's just who he is. So yeah, we break that down too, though. There are so many Chicago stories. Yeah, are you saying you have your own that you know of, Marlene? And if so, hit me up because you may be tying some pieces together for me. Or are you saying the ones I've been sharing? I don't know. Because there's more than even what I know. I know a lot, but there's even more out there than I even know about the Chicago stuff. Because again, I was in his inner circle, so I didn't always know what was really happening around. Pretty Brown says he came to St. Louis with that mess. I wasn't studying him. 289 people are so slow. Yep. Yep. He did her dirty second. Yeah. His assistant did him. This is going to turn into Surviving Darius Crooks. I already have a Surviving Darius series, actually. I started this with the Surviving Darius Crooks series. I'll try to remember doing one of my next videos to put the link in the chat for those of you who may not be aware that I actually have series already breaking down some of that earlier stuff. Donna saying, for the life of me, I do not understand why he hasn't been arrested and charged. Part of that is statute of limitations, and you also got to keep in mind as Sonny Anderson called him, he's a penny thief. So these are like when he's robbing people, scamming people, it's a couple dollars here, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. Most people are able to like when he does these dinner, scamming people with his dinners and cookware and all of that, some of them are able to go back to their banks and get a charge back. Other times people are like, it's not, okay, he got me for $200. is not worth the hassle. We had Kim over here who went through a whole thing with him and him doxing her and all kind of stuff, and her father was dying, and unfortunately her father has now passed away, but she's going through that level of grief, and he and his flying monkeys dragging this woman. But she tried her best. She just couldn't get the money, and it was a year after she had originally paid. She just had to write it off. I mean, couldn't file criminal charges for that. So that is the reason why he still gets away with it. Darius is a career chef criminal. He's not a chef though. So, but yes, I hear what you're saying. He a cook. He's a cook. He's not a chef. In order to be considered a chef for real, you have to be trained and certified. And he is not. He is none of that. Okay, so we're moving on. We talked about Spunky Brewster. And we're going to now talk about the situation that was mentioned briefly with the Dallas homeowner scam and cyberbullying. So, hold on. I was on a different screen. So we have this post. Okay, so I'll give a little background. This one I need a little bit of a refresher because it's been a long time. I feel like this happened. I want to say, I feel like I know I was on a date when this was going down, and I think it was like Valentine's weekend, because I remember I was waiting on a comedy show to start, and we were just out in the hall. Next thing I know, I got people just blowing up my phone. Vell, did you see he's doxing some homeowner, blah, 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 this and that with one of his Airbnbs. And because we were still waiting on the show to start before we even walked in the auditorium, I'm just kind of browsing, trying to see what's happening. But I think it was around that time. But this story is always a little, I don't have all the receipts handy right here. I just pulled what I could really quick for today. So anyway, he rents an Airbnb, to my remembrance, rents an Airbnb, doesn't tell the homeowners what the real purpose is and what he's planning to do with it. He comes in their house. He then is connecting all of these deep fryers, all of this commercial stuff that he needs in order to cook this mass meal. He blows a circuit breaker and did not know where it was. So they now blew out the power in the kitchen because they've added all these extra appliances that the kitchen wasn't capable of handling. He calls the homeowner. They then tell him, I think they wanted to send the electrician out. And then he's like, no, just where's the circuit breaker kind of stuff. Well, they send the electrician out anyway. The electrician then reports to the homeowners, hey, did you know they're having a party here? And they like, no, we did not know they were having a party. They're not authorized to have a party there. And they're now like, what are you doing? Then we got some of the messages between there. So this person will explain. I have their piece here, but this is the part I knew. Well, then all I knew about was the aftermath of when Darius Cooks has gone to his IG lives, because his first thing is, like they said, a lie will take the elevator and the truth will take the stairs. He always runs to social media, to his IG lives, to give his version of the story before the truth can ever start to take off. He runs. He's on his, I remember the live stream. I think I got it somewhere. He goes on there and he is like, and this raggedy house and the lights are out and we can't cook and this is crazy and blah, blah, blah. And look at this. This house is falling apart, showing cracks up in the, with a crown molding meets the ceiling. I'm like, what? Just doing the most. So he's claiming the problem is that the people's house is raggedy and now they trying to blame that stuff ain't working on him. Well, no, you trying to run a commercial event inside of a residential house that was not, didn't have the right capacity for it. Had you been honest about it, they could have said, hey, no, my house ain't built for that. So whereas the rest of us, had we stayed at the house, wouldn't have had no problems. Him bringing in equipment and deep fryers and all this other extra stuff was too much for the capacity of that kitchen. So anyway, here's Here's what he does. So he does that. He runs the IG lives, his IG lives, and he's, giving his narrative. Then he posts this. Hey, can you do me a favor? I'll explain later in full detail. Can you call / text Jason and Kelsey and he puts these people's phone number. This is the phone number of the Airbnb private owners. And he says, and tell them to call Darius. They have my number. FYI, Dallas, I have to cancel the remaining dinner parties. I'll email you shortly and I'll go live later to explain. Just call, text Kelsey and Jason. Thanks. So because he's not getting his way with these homeowners, he decides that he's going to dox them. And we'll later find out why they weren't answering the call for him. But this is him. This is what he does. So he's now already, again, run to his followers. He's presented this narrative. It's, oh my God, he's always the victim. Never wrong. Always the victim. They trying to get me. Y'all help me. Call them. I'll tell you later what happened. Just tell them to call me. All the dramatics, all the sassy bitchiness, all of it. Then this was the next morning. He has this message out, me this morning with Airbnb. And then he posts this, why y'all asked me to press 1 for English, then put Bin Laden's sister on the phone. Now, my question for y'all, is that racist? Because we're going to get to where, he loves to throw rocks and had his hand. Throw a rock and had his hand. Because we're going to get to him calling, well, we know he's called other people racist, homophobes, everything else. But then he calls himself a sissy. And everything else, he calls himself worse. So here's the version of the story from the homeowner. They said, definitely called the police that day. Yes. I guess they're responding to somebody. And they said, and I did tell Vrbo the whole deal with him. However, they said they are not able to remove him. They told me I'm only able to leave a bad review. Sadly, he's still able to book on there. So he did get banned from Airbnb. So then he moved over to Vrbo. And that's where he would be able to reserve them in his name. Not on Airbnb. So don't keep it clear. Says, I have a Twitter account and I'm screen saving everything he posts that people like you have sent me. So at this point, he doesn't have an active Twitter anymore because we don't let him breathe well over there. He can flourish on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook because most of those people old and they don't know no better. They ain't paying no attention. Or he started out on Facebook, really. So he has a very diehard fans over there. So it's almost like no matter what, they can literally, like Trump. Remember when Trump was running originally for president? And he said he can go out on 5th Avenue and pow somebody and still win. That's Darius Cooks' mentality. And the unfortunate part is it's true. It's true. It's true that Darius, no matter what they can literally see him push over an old lady and strangle a cat. And they be like, but that old lady, she shouldn't have been in his way. And that cat was going to scratch. He don't like pets. That'll be their thing. They gone. They gone. So they go on to say, it's helped tremendously to add to the docs I have on this. They said, number one, he says I wouldn't call him back. False. I told him many times I have to keep things in messages due to circumstances like this for proof. So she's saying it's not that we weren't communicating with him. We wouldn't get on the phone with him. And we're like, we need to communicate in writing. When you're dealing with it in general, I can understand that. But when you're dealing with a person like this, especially, you got to have it in writing. Not that it make him be upstanding or anything, but he want to do a phone conversation so he could recreate the narrative and make them look bad and, all this kind of stuff. But instead, she like, no, we want this in writing. So I got proof of what we're agreeing to and what's being said. He ain't like that. He want his way. So he run to his social media and puts their phone numbers out there to have hundreds of people who are dummies calling these people, harassing them because they're following a sociopath and can't realize it, no matter what you put out there. Right. Blind. Who said blind leading the blind? Exactly. What was that? S. Marlene. So they go on to say I think it was a lady here, but they go on to say he didn't tell me he was having 25 to 30 people there. Our city doesn't allow near that number, and it's written before booking so clearly. So again, he don't believe in no rules. F your rules. He literally tore out all of our appliances in the kitchen, blew out our electricity that takes 3 days to fix, backed up our plumbing as well. Now, he probably backed up the plumbing on purpose. You'll hear about the vindictive stuff he does too. There's a Uber story that I'll share in the future, but how Uber driver kicked him out. This is about 3-4 weeks ago. Uber driver's like, you got to get the F out, pulled over to the side of the road, and he was coming from an airport or something. They got his luggage out the back, or he was getting his luggage out there, hatchback, and then they had other personal things in their back. He grabbed their stuff and threw it all out on the street. This is who we talking about. And we know if they kicked him out, we've seen it. It wasn't their fault. They was just like, I can't. You in my car. You're not gonna treat me like this. Close out this current poll. Do you consider Darius's bin Laden comment to be racist? 88% of you said yes. 12% say no. It's because you're probably a racist, but have at it. But okay, so the next poll question as we move along. How are we doing on time? Ooh, I need to speed it up a little bit. Do you believe that Darius Cooks was an innocent party in this situation that we just explained? So then they also had the original text messages. What I've learned with a lot of it, again, it's thousands upon thousands of receipts and stuff. So I feel like there's something else to this, but I only got part of it, at least that I could find today easily, quickly. Ooh, it's gonna be hard to read. Can I read it anyway? It'll pop up there eventually. This is communication between Darius Cooks and the homeowner, and it's please text. Oh, so this is the homeowner basically proving, hey, I've been asking you to communicate with me via in writing, not calling me. So I guess he's calling incessantly, and they like, please text. So he said, it's Darius. I'm staying at your property. And they respond, hi, I have to keep communication written. How may I help you? He then goes on to say, we need to locate the fuse box that's an old word, fuse box. She telling her age. Fuse box to reset the fuse in the kitchen. I think one of my deep fryers tripped the circuit. Where is it? I think that one of my deep fryers. How many of our kitchens, especially, depending on which wall outlet on everything, can handle 2 deep fryers, your fridge, your dishwasher, your stove plug into, and whatever else, because that wasn't all that they had. Probably got a blender going, the food processor, the slow cooker, everything going. This is not a commercial space. Not a commercial space. So they respond, which property are you at by chance? So he then gives the address of that particular property. So one of the complaints that they had, and I don't know, I think it kind of got covered, but one of the complaints was that he literally had pulled out like the dishwasher or something, because he figured he could then plug into maybe that outlet there. He ended up complaining, saying that they had to fry the food in the garage. Now, we ain't talking about the picture I showed y'all of the garage. He cooked in this particular garage in Dallas. In that other location, I forgot where that was. He actually served them in the garage. And they like, oh, it's so perfect. This worth every dollar. He's so professional. This is fine dining. I'm sorry, I forgot. They got a new look. They ain't got no neck either. All right, so then we move on to the current drama. I'm gonna catch up on a couple comments, and then we're gonna move on to the current drama. So I needed to give y'all all that because some of y'all don't be knowing, and then y'all be commenting stuff like, this ain't no big deal. Why y'all always making a big deal? But now you see the history. See, I take you all the way around to get you where I want you. Because you got to understand this. And I know some of y'all listen, some of y'all need give y'all a little after school tutoring to help you understand what's happening here. So, says, still don't know why he pulled the employee. Oh, okay. I just explained that. Well, it still don't make sense, but I explained it. I explained what he said. Yeah, wait till we get the Carolina pound cake coming. I'm actually, with all of these scams and grifts and all this stuff that he's doing, he thinks that I'm just like, oh my God, it's killing me that he's got so much going on. No, I'm enjoying it because I'm like, there's more content. I know it's more drama going to come with it. He's unable to live like the rest of us and have peaceful, enjoyable lives. He claims to be this millionaire, but he's still not happy. Still not happy. So I know because he's happy and like he attracts. He's a drama and conflict magnet. A drama and conflict magnet. He attracts it to him. So it's gonna be more content for us. That's it. So don't bother me. Why his page not blocked on social media? I think you were asking why they haven't removed his platform. Social media works a little different than the common folk might think. Like we might think how, back in the day when we most of us been around before the internet started. So we watched it start and we thought it was going to be all for the good. We like, oh, it's going to help us connect with people and get things done quicker and all of that. Yes, it does do that. However, where they really make their money is the drama, the conflict, the trauma stuff happening. Y'all know when something like that happens, it goes viral. Not really the happy, not, cats, kittens being saved in trees and not that kind of stuff. But God forbid somebody chop off a kitten's head and stuff it in their ex-wife mouth and throw her off a bridge. That goes viral. So social media likes this kind of stuff. He gets the more you'll notice his normal stuff when he just posting the food, ain't much drama going on. He just over there on the IG lives, indoctrinating them, getting them prepared for the next discount code. His social media is pretty flatline. But soon as he gets some drama, like this weekend, soon as he gets some drama, it's the spiking. The views, the comments, all that. He's making money off of it. So the social media platforms, the TikToks, the Facebooks, TikTok don't deal with a lot of those. They do, but they don't. Like you gotta be creative to put stuff out there. But like the Instagram and the Facebook and stuff, Twitter even, they thrive on that because they're getting more likes and views. That's how they get the advertising money, etc. So long story short, it's a long explanation, but the long story short, drama sells. These platforms make money from the drama. Therefore, they let people like this get away with it. That's why. So he will not be blocked on social media anytime soon, probably ever, to be honest. I mean, even when he get in prison, he'll have it. Prisoners got it now. I'm sorry. Incarcerated, people who are incarcerated, people who are currently incarcerated, I think is the politically correct way to say it. So when he is futurely incarcerated, he'll still have access. And these lying money is going to be putting money on his books. I know it for a fact. Poll question I'm closing out. Do you believe that Darius Cooks was the innocent party? 92% of y'all like, hell no. Quit playing our face, Vell. Don't ask us dumb questions. Like, we okay with these polls, but don't ask us dumb questions. 8% of y'all are. Or you joined late and you ain't heard all the other stuff we just said. One or the other. You don't know who we talking about. Something like that. Or you need more tutoring. Come back. I'll tutor y'all some more. I don't understand how he is all this stuff. Okay, we talked about the arrest thing. Oh my God. Some of y'all really don't know who we talking about. I love you, Catherine Hall, though. Is Mr. Crooks married or has children? Hell no. He's a sociopath. He can't. For one, he's a sociopath, so he can't function in real relationships. He has mommy and daddy issues, got abandonment issues. He's a sociopath, all these sort of things. He's just predator, all these things. So his relationships never really work out. So number one. Number two, I don't know. You could be talking about married to a man as well. I'm sorry, I kind of just immediately went to him being married to a woman, but he is gay, or as he calls himself, he is a sissy, or as K. Michelle said, he is a sassy bitch. But no, he doesn't have children. He doesn't like children like that. He doesn't want children. And he doesn't like pets. All the things that start to say, I don't like children, I don't like pets, don't like his mama, don't like his dad, don't talk to his siblings. This sound like somebody who got social problem. Like, something ain't right. But they can fake like they like people and be an actor on the screen. Real life, not so much. Okay. I can't get through all. Okay, I'll come back to the comments because it's way more comments than I got time to spend during between segments. I just didn't want the comments to get too far back. But I know some of y'all like, move on to the topics. We don't care about the comments. Okay, so next poll question is, have you heard of Darius Cooks' latest Vrbo owner, aka Airbnb, but I think this was Airbnb, I think is what they were using, the platform. But have you heard of the latest drama from the Vrbo owner or Airbnb? I could be misspeaking with this. I forgot already. This weekend. Have you heard about it? Have you heard about it? Let me clear some of these clips from down here. From studio. Okay. So this weekend, we got a post from the latest survivor of Darius Cooks's, who, oh, here it is. I was going to say, did I not bring this in? This is Mrs. Chen, who posted in a Airbnb / Vrbo group for property owners, where they go and they share. It's a Facebook group, so they share anything related to that topic. Could be everything from horrible people to watch out for, scammers, legislation, bonding, all of that, trauma bonding. His name was trauma. So she posted this. She said, Darius Cooks, bad guest warning. So they do bad guest warning. That's what this is. He is booking events throughout the U.S. on Vrbo into 2023 and 2024 since he's been banned on Airbnb. So everybody making this banned on Airbnb up? It might also be under his assistant's name. And we're not talking about Spunky, because remember, Spunky been gone some years. We're talking about Crystal Chrisley. Crystal Chrisley is Darius Cooks' head D-hag in charge, aka his friend Crystal, aka, and I'm sorry, I forgot to pull her picture in, but just imagine a box of Uncle Ben's rice. Remember what Uncle Ben's looked like, the circular picture? Imagine Uncle Ben's. That's what Crystal looked like, but with a dress on, like colorful dresses and stuff, like almost like somebody got a box of the 64 pack of crayons and threw it at her dress and her clothes, like everything she wear. And it just, yeah, that's what she looked like. And then glasses be matching and stuff. So imagine that. And then in our next one, I'll show y'all a picture. But remember, Uncle Ben's, that's Crystal. A female Uncle Ben's. Or Uncle Ben's in a dress. So anyway, Crystal Chrisley, and it's been rumored that she's been up with the issue with Darius for a long time. Now we got proof. I already knew, because people be talking to me and telling me all kind of stuff. I know a lot about you, Crystal. Oh, I know people you don't even know I know. Anyway, he booked one of my places and didn't tell me that he had two dinners daily of 30 to 40 people where his guests were parking all over my neighbor's yard. Created such a big mess in the house and issued a charge back when I charged against his security deposit. Watch out for this guy. or sassy bitch. He is super rude. All this is true so far. I ain't seen not nan lie. He is super rude when we had to talk to him about moving his car, canceling his reservation. And I guess canceling his reservation. Just a warning to everyone who might be hosting him or think it's okay to host him. So she posted this in the group, and it was chaos, pure chaos. There was the Land Monkey. You thought about our mister. He's perfect. How dare you? You're supposed to let him get over on you and scam you and destroy your house, and you better not say nothing, or we gonna create a narrative and call you a racist. So they get on there and they are fisticuffing in the comments, just fisticuffing. I ain't gonna read. I'll read a couple of them. I got a couple. I have. So this is exhausting. I'll read it. I know some of y'all ain't seen it. Some of y'all ain't seen it. So anyway, so then Darius shows up. Crooks, sassy bitch herself. She gotta get in. She got now when it's big enough, she gotta jump out there and get in front of the narrative. So this is what she's doing, and she know her hags are real deep over there in Facebook land. So she get on there, as in Darius Cooks, gets on there and says, "Ask the host to post pics, because we have videos of every home. Plus, we get insurance. The reality is that people find out who I am and how much money I make, everything. Oh, y'all, I can't wait as we move forward. Everything goes to money with this fool, because he's the only one who is. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. The thing that you speak about most is the thing that you love. Some of us speak about our family, our wives, our husband, our spouse, our partner, our pets, cousins, best friend. We talk about them a lot. That's because we love them. But Darius Cooks, you know what he talks about most? Money, because that's what he cares about. And you know what loving money is? Not having it, not caring about it, not being wise with it, but loving it is the root of all evil. And that is what we watch with him daily. Evil. Not evil, but evil. Evil. So he goes on to say, people find out who I am and how much money looking up how much money somebody made. Who's a social media influencer? Most people don't even know we make good money. Most people still don't understand how big of an industry this is. People find out who I am and how much money. Oh, that's true, though. He does talk about how much money he makes constantly and post it all the time. So they come back with bogus charges. Someone was like, "You ruined my house by putting the towels in the tub. One of my chefs put his dirty towel in the tub. It's always something like these with these hosts. And I hate to say it, I never have issues from the Black owners." Now he's gonna make it a race thing. So he's gonna try to, it's about my money. No, if you ain't gonna take that one, it's about my race. No, if you ain't gonna take that, everybody's just after me because they hate my success. Oh, she's such a gaslighter. Says, and I hate to say it, I never have these issues from Black owners. A lot of Black people just put up with stuff too. We know this. We Black, we know. It's always the non-Black owners who have issues. Why am I not banned from Airbnb? Didn't we see Randy Travis literally say that news called and that Airbnb confirmed that he is banned? Also, pay attention. He didn't rent this. Crystal did. His assistant. So y'all see, I told y'all before, and pay attention as we continue with this. Bit of the truth. He tells a bit of the truth wrapped up in a big ass lie. The truth is, yes, you are having these events at an Airbnb. Well, this was Vrbo. at a Vrbo, but you saying I haven't been banned. I haven't been banned, and basically people are supposed to think like, yeah, how he renting if he banned? Well, he not renting. That's the real tea. The real tea is he ain't renting. Because he can't. Why would this multimillionaire, and it's being charged to his account, why wouldn't he just put these Airbnbs and Vrbos in his name? I don't need to use my friend's name if I have an account and I have the funds. I mean, you can have your assistant, aka your Uncle Ben friend. Uncle Ben can use your information and fill it out. I'm sure y'all been friends long enough. They got most of it anyway. Especially with the rumor of the merchant account situation at Greens and Gravy and stuff, where she was on your merchant accounts because I guess you couldn't get them or something. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, when they talk about the fraud, they say she in it too. That's word on the street, allegedly. But that's just what they've been talking about, Crystal. Saying you got something to do with the credit card fraud that was happening with the merchant accounts over there at Greens and Gravy. And maybe so Crab Atlanta, I don't know for sure, but I heard about Greens and Gravy. But anyway, so he said, why am I not banned from Airbnb if I'm such a horrible guest? I'm always up front. With the lie. Yeah, you're right. He is right. He is right. He is always up front with the lie. Quickly, let me hurry up and change the narrative. Let me lie. The owners are always, the owners always approve before I book. Well, of course they got to approve because they may not be approving what they think they approving. Then they say, oh, that's Darius Cooks. He got millions. Who banned this ish? Who is, I mean, we know people believe in it. And then what kind of misery they got in their life? Because to me, if you even buy into this, that because somebody got money, then people automatically hate them and trying to get their money, like strangers, total strangers who are doing business, just regular transactions with them. Renting an Airbnb does not require like all this extra. Why would people, I think they're that miserable and they are that envious and jealous of people that they can identify with that. So that makes sense to them. But me, I'm like, just because I see somebody who's successful or appears to be successful, don't make me jealous and want to take it from them or get over on them. That don't even cross my mind. But it crossed their mind. That's why they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, master. That makes sense. Because we jealous and hurt and evil and hurt and don't know no better. Yeah, that makes sense to us. Total sense. Oh, Jesus. Closing out this poll question. Have you heard of Darius Cooks' latest drama with the Vrbo owner this weekend? Wow, 80% of y'all didn't know nothing about this. See, I thought it would have been a little higher. I thought at least maybe 60-something% of y'all knew. That's why I came to you. That's why I came to you. You should have seen the messages I was getting. That's why I came to y'all. Next poll question is, do you believe Darius Cooks' version of this story, the one we're still telling? Here's the next piece. So Darius Cooks, remember, this is him in the Vrbo, Airbnb, Vrbo, booking.com group on Facebook. He then goes on to say, my videographer captured all of it too, because I know the people like to make me out to be a liar. We like to make you out to be a liar, or do we call you out for being a liar? Again, a little bit of truth. We do like to call him out for being the liar that he is, but we don't make him out to be the liar. He makes himself the liar. We just point out that he is one. If you have to run, if I have to run the footage, I will. Let me know how big you want this to get. So now he's threatening, like I'm a put you out in public kind of stuff. Cause I can let my community know we got a little static and we gotta prove our innocence again. The fact that you gotta prove your innocence again is a problem. Why you always gotta prove your innocence? Do people, because we got a community over here too. People, do we have to constantly prove our innocence? How often do we get in drama over here? We don't really get in drama over here. Every once in a while, people come for me, but we don't have all this controversy. And also, that reminds me, where the hell is the because we ain't even finished with the last drama you just had with E-Class over there in Miami with the licking restaurant where you claim the man assaulted you and you got it on video, and we still waiting. That's 2 weeks ago now. Because I was saying I was like, if we don't get it by Tuesday of last week, I was saying, then it ain't happened, or they trying to edit the footage. We're now a whole nother, it's 2 weeks. Where's this footage? Now we got a new situation. You claim you got footage of this. Where's that? Your history, because again, you're like a broken clock. I'm sorry, not a broken clock. You're like as a rinse and repeat. Like you're so predictable. When he feels like he really got something, he runs to the internet and his IG lies immediately with the y'all look, let me show you. Look. All that. Let's make some money off this ish. I'm finna play it on Facebook now. All that. We ain't seen that with E-Class. We're 2 weeks out. Hurry up, you're getting behind. Is Corey losing more footage? Is that what you're gonna blame it on? So anyway, he claimed he got this video footage. We ain't seen not a nan lick of it. He over there showing them old dry ass slanderous food reviews on his IG lives. They like to watch him at night now. Foolishness. From his laptop. He put his laptop up to the phone and they just watch from his laptop. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, goes on to say there was somebody else's comment. I think I got this off the exposed Darius Cooks group on Facebook. So they blacked that out, whoever did this. They said, Darius Cooks, why this has to be a race thing. So this is someone commenting. They blacked out their name, the person's name. They said, Darius Cooks, why this has to be a race thing. To be honest, when someone damages my properties or violates non-smoking rules, 9 out of 10 are black folks, but I never say, oh, black people have issues. That's not cool. My question is, did you tell the owner that you were going to host a 40 people dinner party? And then another person says, Darius Cooks, so share the pics and videos. Right. Like you're pleading your innocence, just share it. That ain't normally his MO. He just, look, I got it. I ain't been dealing with it. Here go the video. We still ain't seen it. This happened on, I think did this happen yesterday, y'all? I don't know. Yesterday, I think. Yesterday earlier or something. Maybe the night before. I ain't seen no video. He normally be getting his clicks and views off the video by now. So then he goes on to post. This is still in the group. I see the D-Hive up in here. Love y'all. I mean it. See y'all tonight on IG. That's his IG lies. You see how he indoctrinates them? It's like, see y'all tonight at church at our meeting. Our cult meeting. Flying monkey cult meeting. The Suckerette cult meeting. He says, he then says the homeowner's name, Miss Chin, do better. Do better. For talking about a scammer, do better. You do better. Then we won't have these situations. He says, I used your property 2 months ago, and now you're here with this. Ciao, good night. The thing is, he'll be telling stories from a decade ago, and it's okay. He'll be rehashing situations he had with the Kitchenista or a Melanie Ford or all these various things. He's brought up stuff about our food truck business where he totally recreated that narrative. One day, when I dig into it, y'all already know when I come, I'm coming. That's why I'm taking my time with it. I ain't letting y'all rush me about it. Tell them stories, then told them story about 500 times. But this, she can't mention something that happened 2 months ago that she's realizing I'm at my wit's end. I ain't able to get no resolve to this. So now I'm taking this to a group where we share horrible people that people shouldn't rent to. I don't want nobody else to go through that. She didn't come to his Facebook page with it. She went in a private group with other homeowners to say, hey, watch out for this person. I don't want what happened to me to happen to y'all. She's about to just shut up. Shut up and take it. Goes on to say, so then she responds, Ms. Chen responds and says, Darius Cooks, if you actually own up to what you did and pay the security deposit instead of trying to dispute it, I would let it go. He then responds, where's the proof we damaged anything? We have insurance. Why not file an insurance claim if we did so much damage? We have $10K in insurance through Vrbo Insurance Company. Why not file the claim? No proof, huh? So then she replies, Darius Cooks, we collect security deposit and do not go through Vrbo. They are not an insurance company. You can check your messages from your assistant. That would be Crystal, aka Uncle Ben. She signed the rental agreement agreeing to the rules. She signed, which is legally binding, the rental agreement and agreed to the rules. Now he like go through Vrbo, but that's how he does. Again, y'all seeing the behavior that got me caught up in a horrible scamming business deal with him when we were friends a decade ago. Before I knew he was like this, he turned on us in that moment during that time frame. Before then, he had never done nothing to me, nothing, literally nothing bad to me. Then just like the evilness. I think he had literally signed the deal with Satan at that point because he just flipped. So I think he signed that deal. I mean, I would love to see that contract. If you want to share, since you always posting stuff, post your contract with Satan. I want to see if it's dated back to about 2009, 2008, something like that. That's about when you change. Well, you had some of these ways, but they just wasn't as horrible. They were tolerable. Well, then again, a lot of people hated you too, and I didn't know why, because you was treating other people like that. You just didn't treat me like that. That's why Uncle Ben Crystal, aka Crystal, still hangs out with him, because she think it'll never happen to her. Oh, I can't wait till he turn on her, because he's dysfunctional. He ain't got he's a sociopath. He ain't got no real ability to hold on to relationships. The man don't even like his own mama, and she's alive, or his siblings, or his nieces and nephews. Just got rid of a cousin, cut his cousin off, grew up with her. Because she didn't want to host in her house. You seeing a theme here? He want to be able to tear up your house. And if he can't, he get mad. He wanted to host Thanksgiving at his cousin's house, had a whole family and anybody else he wanted to invite over there. And she was like, hey, can you do it in an Airbnb instead? And he got mad and cut off out of his life, blocked her and everything. Then went on IG Live and lied about her, talking about she was hateful and jealous. And he had been feeling it for a long time. Everybody jealous of her. What? Who would be jealous of this? Who would be jealous of this drama and this level of unpeace, not having any peace in your life? What? No amount of money is worth that. Unless you're evil, because the love of money is the root of all evil. Anyway, she went on to say, Darius Cooks, we don't need to rehash everything here. If you pay the security deposit now, I would have let it go. Instead, you're hiding behind excuses and disputing charges with disputing the charges. It got cut off, but I know what happened. We'll get more into it. So then this last piece is what did it click? Oh, yeah, it did. Okay. She says, Darius Cooks, if you make so much money, why do you not pay the cost of the security deposit? Now, here's the crazy part, y'all. Put in the chat how much you think the security deposit is. Because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But I got a message from the owner. Well, you'll see it in a minute. So I have been in communication with this particular owner that we're talking about. And put in the chat how much you think this deposit was. Because I just knew, I was like, okay, this must be, a lot of money or something. And so I emailed her right before we went live, like about 45 minutes before we went live, because I was like, I never asked her how much was the deposit. Because I kept, as I'm putting stuff together, I'm like, there's a lot of mention of the security deposit. And she's saying, if you pay the security deposit, I'll move on. It's no bit. Just give me my money. Give me the security deposit because you done did all this stuff. When she told me how much, I was like, you're a whole millionaire. You are really letting all this happen over this amount of money. So we got, I'm seeing somebody saying $50, $250, $500, look like about $250. most of y'all in the 200-ish range up to around 500. The security deposit that she said she's looking for is $1,000, which that seems reasonable, I guess, depending on the type of house, all the other stuff. And so she's saying I don't even think she was trying to charge the whole thing, I don't think, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, $1,000 for the security deposit. And with the damage that he did, makes sense. And the fucking harassment. The poll question I'm closing out is, do you believe that Darius Cooks, version of this story? 94% of you said, hell no, quit playing in our face, Vell. We told you before. And 6% of y'all, yes, we believe everything. We don't have brains for ourselves. We believe everything he says. She's a racist. So Darius Cooks then also runs to his IG lives the way he always does. But I think this was during his, he does this nightly. He calls it before the edible kick in. And then he drugs himself up and then makes a fool of himself, shows his rusty SOS pad wool, taco chest meat. And he eats like a burnt walrus, eating all on camera, spitting to the side, picking his teeth, just looking a mess. He does that every night. They love it. So this is him running to his IG lives and telling his version of this story. And then we're going to continue. This is a little lengthy. Some of y'all don't like the sound of her voice, and I get it. I'm with you. It takes a lot for me to pull this together. That's why y'all need to hit that like button. Where we at? Oh my God, 313 likes, all this work I put in here. We need these likes to be at like 450. If the likes ain't on 450, I'm about to say 500. I need these likes to be at 500 by the time this video done playing, or I'm playing a commercial until we get it. Because y'all playing in my face. I literally been working on this for like 8 hours today. And now I'm live with y'all. This is work, y'all. And I'm keeping y'all informed so y'all don't get scammed. So please bless me with your like. I appreciate it in advance.
Some group on Facebook. And it was, I was tagged on some group on Facebook. And it was like the Airbnb or VRBO group on Facebook, I guess where the homeowners be at. And it was a homeowner that posted my flyer from Dining with Darius Cooks and said, we trashed their house, we lied about this, this, that, the third. Now, I happen to remember this quite vividly, all right? There's not many things I forget, all right? So this was in Cincinnati. Bitch, I left Cincinnati 2 months ago. You mean to tell me you're posting in a group about something that happened 2 months ago? Got it. Okay. So really, it was her husband that was the pain in my ass. It wasn't the wife. The wife was okay, but it was the husband who popped up. And I guess the husband thought that just because we were renting from them, that he could approach me and talk to me any kind of way. You don't know this about me, and I don't bring all of my business to the internet. But you're not finna do that to me. You're not finna talk to me any kind of way. You're not finna treat me any kind of way. So here's what happened. There were cars parked on the street, but it was also on like the neighbor's grass, right? So imagine, if you will, the suburbs of Cincinnati. This is, it's like a main street kind of, but it's not really a main street. It's not like a busy street, but it's a main street. And so there's like no sidewalk, right? So it's not like a super residential area. It's not that, right? So the car was parked on the neighbor. So I guess the neighbor must have called the homeowner, and then the homeowner came over to us. So I had people move their cars, this, that, and third. No big deal, right? And wherever y'all park your cars, where y'all park your car, right? Y'all come in asking me, Darius, can we park here? Girl, I don't live here. Don't ask me where you can park. Because then you're gonna say, well, Darius said this and Darius said that. No. No, please don't. I don't. If you come ask me where should you park, the first answer out of my mouth is I don't know. Because, and I tell Ramon the same thing. Tell these people you don't know. Because something happened to their car. They're gonna say, well, Ramon told me. No, Ramon didn't tell you. All right, read the sign, park at your.
This is actually, as I said before, very lengthy. So I'll do some commentary because some of y'all can't take his voice that long uninterrupted, and I get the pain. I get your pain. Also, I don't know if these. I'm like, let me check my phone because these likes ain't moving. It's almost like y'all was like, "F you, Vell. We don't care about your likes." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm serious about it. I'm not going to continue if we don't get these likes up. This is it means something." But anyway, I saw somebody saying like he doesn't take responsibility. So can you imagine paying $289? For one, you're going into an Airbnb that you don't know what you're getting. Now, some of us have stayed in Airbnbs. I've stayed in plenty of them. And it is, no matter what the pictures look like, a game of, duck, duck, goose. Like you don't quite know what you're going to get. You got that. And then you get there. And then that's how he ends up in situations where they're in the garage. But on top of that, it's not like he's providing, usually for $289 per plate, like when you're talking about a place that charges for dinners like that, you got at least the option of a valet parking situation. He not giving you valet parking. He not even making sure that whatever area he's in has sufficient parking. Parking has always been an issue. I remember when he did it in Chicago. As well, people have had to leave the dinner to go and move their car, and they did it here too, from what I'm hearing. Craziness, because he doesn't care, and he's telling them he doesn't care. It's always about him, but they miss these pieces. This means nothing to them.
On risk, all right. So anyway, I guess a couple of the guests had asked the people across the street if they could park. They say, we'll be here hour and a half, 2 hours, can we park? They told him, yeah, no problem, right? So they had already cleared it with, I guess, whatever neighbors they cleared it with, or whoever's across the street or over, whatever. So the owner come over talking about you can't park over there. Sir, you don't own the property over there. These people that asked these people if they could park their car in the street right there, and the people say, yeah, you can park, as long as you don't block no driveways, you can park in the thing. So what is the problem?
So again, this is Darius Cooks, making up his narrative. The homeowners were like, the problem is their neighbors were calling them. That's how they knew about all this, because the neighbors called them complaining, saying these people are all over and these cars are here day and night, blah, blah, blah. And they're all over our yards. And that's what made y'all know when y'all get Airbnbs and all this stuff, those people don't be coming to the property. Some of them will let you in, but that's rare. But they don't be just coming to the property. So if it got to the point that they came to the property, it ain't because they were bored or because they felt like picking on somebody. They had to remedy the situation from all their neighbors calling. And yes, there he goes in his nose again. I see y'all comments.
So I stopped the whole dinner party and said, oh, we didn't even start yet. I don't think we didn't even start. It was like before we started. Oh, you was there, Bridget? Oh, yeah, you was there. So you were there. Sure was. Yes. Oh, he had pissed me off so bad. The 3 o'clock dinner too. Oh, I was livid. Do you understand me? Livid. So anyway.
He's mad because this person, he gave them all that energy in their message exchanges. The guy comes and meets him with the same energy. Now he got a problem with it. Now the guy's the problem. But again, no accountability. We'll see this continually. We've already seen it, but for those of you who are a little newer, it look like a lot of y'all newer to this stuff.
So he comes to the door, and it's the way he is.
Just FYI, we only had 373 likes. I'm gonna back it down to 450 because I know people be busy, their hands be busy and stuff. But we need 450. We're gonna have a commercial after this, and I'm gonna repeat them until we get our 450.
Trying to talk to me, like talk down to me. He's a white guy, I'm a black guy. We're in the suburbs of Ohio, Cincinnati, right? So you already know I'm not finna take no shit from you. You're not finna talk to me any kind of way. I'm not the fuck finna yes sir you.
You're not going to talk to me any kind of way, but he does it to everyone all the time. We've seen his condescending attitude towards his followers, but also when we see him in public, when he's ordering his food, etc. It's Star Williams. He gives me bully vibes. Absolutely. Paying $289 to sit in some folding chairs. Right. Arm, shoulder to shoulder. You should see how they crammed up at them tables.
I'm not going to do any of that. This is not happening. All right. So if you're looking for this for me and I make exponentially more money than you, no, hell no. I don't know who the fuck you think I am. All right. Certainly.
Again, back to the money. The love of money is the root of what? All evil. Everything goes back to money with him. Everything. I've never heard somebody talk about money so much in my life. And usually the people who talk the most about money tend to be scammers. What is that all about? What is that all about?
Not doing it. So anyway, he had an attitude and he raised his voice a touch. And I raised mine right back at you. You understand me? I don't give a shit if this your house or not. You're not fin to disrespect me. I don't give a fuck if I could buy this house 4 times over with what's in my bank account. You not.
Eventually, we're gonna start doing a counter on how many times he mentions money. What I forgot how many times we had now. What we at, about 4 or 5 times already?
It's not gonna happen. We'll cancel the whole thing. You give my money back. I'll pay these people back their money. But you're not gonna disrespect me over this little piece of a fucking house. You understand me? So, even his wife, because he called his wife, because that's who I was talking to, the wife. The wife was on the phone like, I don't know his name, I'm calling him Dave. The wife was like, Dave, could you please just be quiet for 1 second? Could you please can you let him talk? Because he literally was like, okay, Ken. He literally was like, would not let me get a word in edgewise. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna do this with you, right? You either gonna talk to me normal or you gonna call the police and I'm finna go back inside. What you wanna do? All right, you decide how you want this to end. Cause at this point, you done pissed me off so much, I don't give a flying fuck. So anyway, okay. So, everybody moved their car. Nobody was parked on nobody's nothing.
Nobody was parked on any. So there were 0 issues with the parking. This residential area that all of a sudden had a house that had 40 guests who had cars. So let's say at least, okay, we just go with 20 cars. 20 cars that are not normally in this residential neighborhood. This ain't caused no issues. Ain't nobody complaining. What these owners come from their own house, not the house that he was at, but their own house, traveled over there because they just wanted to pick on him because he was black, even though they rented to him. What? Make it make sense.
And that was it. He went away, right? We leave. You don't know this, but we get like sometimes we get between $5,000 and $10,000 worth of insurance every time we rent an Airbnb. The reason we get the $5,000 to $10,000 in insurance is because anything could happen. Honey, these people done came back and said we done put shit in the bed. Corey put his dirty towels on the shower floor. That's what he do. Don't ask me. The boy is 23. Why he wouldn't put him in a hamper or on the floor in the bathroom, I don't know. He put him in the shower floor. He does it. That's a habit. That's what he do. The people talking about you tore up our house.
So for those of you, again, this is where you know the lies come in. Because for one, or the exaggeration. In this case, that's an exaggeration, I'm sure. I'm sure maybe Corey did leave his towels, on the shower floor, whatever. But if you've ever stayed in an Airbnb, and again, I've stayed in many, many, many. When I was covering the Tim Norman case, I was always staring at an Airbnb. And I've stayed in many more. But those Airbnbs always have rules and what you need to do when you're leaving the property. They have a checklist, and every property is a little different. Some people want you to empty the garbage, like take it literally out to the dumpster or wherever they, empty their trash at. Some of them want you to, put all the towels in a certain place. Or usually, sometimes they want you to put them in the washers, in the washer. Maybe not start it, but put it in the washer. All kind of little things. You know, put a new liner in the garbage can. They will have this checklist of things that they want you to do. So if Corey is leaving his towel in the shower floor, I'm pretty sure that's not part of the checklist. So I believe he's exaggerating, and what they're saying is, hey, you didn't follow none of the rules about what you need to do when you leave this property. And our rule is we charge when you don't do those things. And some of them will say, hey, we automatically charging you $200, $300, or 150 or whatever if you don't do these things on the list. That's automatic. That's A, number one. Before we get to if there are any real damages, just the fact that you didn't do the chores connected to this, to closing out your stay, we're going to charge you whatever. I had that. And when I was staying in like I said, many places, but St. Louis, I think it was 150 or whatever, if I didn't do those things. And I had to go down hallways. I was in an apartment building. I had to take the garbage to the dumpster, a key card and everything. So I believe he's exaggerating that they didn't follow the checklist of things they needed to do. And this is what she was complaining about, not just that the towel was on the shower floor, but the towel, along with probably a bunch of other stuff, wasn't in the washer and washer the way it was supposed to be, those sort of things. But again, a little bit of the truth, because they probably did say, and the linen wasn't put in the washer and dryer along with the towel on the floor in the shower upstairs, all of that. But he gonna lock in on that. Oh, they being petty, talking about a towel on the floor. A little bit of the truth wrapped up in a big ass lie. That's how he rolls.
He said, where the pictures at? What we tore up? They sent pictures of Corey's bathroom with the towels on the floor in the shower. That's us tearing up your house, right? So we get insurance every time, because what I'm not gonna do is go through none of this with these people. So we get the insurance. So the lady get on.
I also want to say, again, I've stayed in a ton of them. I've stayed in at least 20 something Airbnbs. I've had 0 people ever try to charge me. 0. Me. And now when I say that, sometimes me by myself, sometimes it's me with groups of people. I've stayed in mansions with 14 people. Didn't get no chargebacks. None. So this don't have to be this way, is what I know for a fact.
Facebook in a group today, right? And she said, we trashed the house and we did this and we did that, right? In the Airbnb group, not knowing that the people in the Airbnb group know me. It's some beehive in the Airbnb group, right? So she in the group talking, just running off. Baby, the people said, hold on one second. What are receipts? Just show us the receipt. You said that he tore your house up. You got on here and you said this and you said that. Where are the photos? Surely you have them. You've made such a ginormous claim. Surely you have receipts. Now, why you decided to post today when Darius left Cincinnati 2 months ago is beyond me. But I actually have the footage, because while you also don't know this, Corey's working on a documentary. So Corey's getting all the extra footage of everything. Where was Corey when this exchange was going on with the homeowner? Outside with that fucking camera, right where he should have been. What do we have? The fucking footage. All of it. All right? That's what I'm saying. Don't play with me.
So where's the footage? Where is the footage? Where's the video? Play it now. Where's the Bing footage? Don't tell us about it. Be about it. Show us. Because we're still waiting on E-Class about to get in that ass. Where's the video of E-Class when he was about to get in that ass? Where is it? We're going on 2 weeks. Corey, get on your job. What do you got to edit her being a sassy bitch out of it? What is happening?
Please.
Oh, also we had 409 likes. We are 3/4 of the way through this foolishness, this video, this piece of it. Not my video. This sassy queen over here lying on IG Live. We're 3/4 of the way through it. When we get done, if I don't have 450, I'm sorry. I'm gonna boost it back up to 500 because we done went up to almost 600 people in the chat. 600 people in the live. We need 500 likes, or I'm gonna be playing a commercial on repeat until we get it. Thank you. Love y'all.
I got receipts and ain't even trying to have receipts. You understand me? So anyway, so she said all this. The people say, what are receipts, sis? And you know, I be quiet about this kind of stuff, but I don't really got pissed off, right? And so I said a few choice words in there. I joined the group under Darius Cooks, so you know it's me.
We did see that. We read that part already. We read her narrative. We saw that ourselves. Now watch her try to act like she really did something with it.
And I said a few choice words because I find it so ironic that I left 2 months ago and you post tonight that we wrecked your house. How come you didn't put the insurance claim in? Why didn't you give any money to the insurance? Any claim to the insurance company? It's free for you.
Well, she tells her version. We ain't done, y'all. We getting his narrative spinning first, and then I'm gonna back it all up with her side of the story and all the goddamn receipts she got.
Paid $59 for $5,000 worth of insurance. You could have easily, had we tore your house apart, you could have easily filed the insurance claim. And guess what could have happened? You would have had everything replaced if you said what you said. Why did you wait 2 months? Why? And now, why the comments cut off? Why?
So not that she's been trying to have a reason. So do you really feel like, come on, y'all, let's use our common sense over here because we got it over here. Let's use our critical thinking skills. Do we really think that this lady rented her Airbnb, which I'm sure she does for profit and not just for charity or fun, or her and her husband rented their Airbnb as a business. But then when he left, they decided, well, we just gonna try to chase the millionaire and not rent it out. And I'm gonna wait 2 months and then finally say something. Or, because that's his version. That's what we're supposed to believe. That she ain't said nothing. 2 months later, she realized who he is. She decides she's going to finally say something. Or the reality, which is she spent 2 months trying to get her money so she can move on, and then got to her wit's end and decided, I have to warn people about this scammer after she learns who you are, as in scamming, not as in the rich social media, the perception that you try to give. The lie you tell, the way you try to have people see you in a light that doesn't exist, like you're a good person. But then the truth always finds you. Yes, who says this man is exhausting, Astra H? Yes, friend, I agree, 1,000,000%. We got a little bit more. Bear with us. We had 428 likes.
She cut the comments off. So can't nobody comment on the post because she cut it off. Now, why'd you do that? The comments weren't cut off when you walked up in here. The comments was not cut off when you were so adamant that Darius tore up your house. The comments was not cut off when you posted this and the people was finna ask you where the pictures. Because this Facebook. This ain't Instagram, this Facebook. You could post pictures in the group. You could post pictures. You could post videos. Where they at?
So she's not obligated to prove anything to the D-Hags, to his flying flunky Suckerette monkey, flying monkeys. She ain't required to prove nothing to them. That ain't finna get no resolve for her. That ain't gonna do nothing but make them try to find holes in it and rip it apart. Oh, you complain about that? I could do that for 5 cents. You know, I could fix that for 2 cents. My husband to do all that. She ain't required to show them nothing. I got it. She showed me though. She showed me. Then she turning off the comments. Why she turning off the comments? Because you just said your trolls, your flying monkeys was all up in the chat. It was not productive. On top of that, what I know, as in they want to call her racist just for bringing up something that a black person did. They want to call her racist. However, in the chat, the first comments you see under the post, the first comments you see is people being racist against Asians, talking about cats and freezers and stuff. He ain't mentioned that part though. He ain't mentioned how toxic it got. Now she hadn't. It's almost like, see, she was trying to get over. She was trying to blackmail me, and then she realized our power over here, and then she ran scared because she was lying. She was guilty. No, yo, crazy flying monkeys was harassing. like y'all normally do. Y'all, that's how he's used to moving like that. We're gonna cover that too. Got evidence of when he learned that he had the ability to do that, and he was reveling in it. Reveling in it. It don't work over here though. Right.
Where are the receipts? And now why them comments cut off?
I see, who is this? Courtney Witherspoon saying to Simply Erica, I can only see the response. I didn't see the original post. But you're right. She ain't turned off the comments. Okay, I thought I saw also Marianne. Marianne posted but I thought you were also saying in an earlier chat that the comments or the post was removed or something. I saw y'all chatting on Patreon about it. But I don't know. Let us know for sure. But so y'all saying it's still there. I know when I went, because he claimed it was so buried and all this other stuff. Literally, when I went over to that page, it was the first post I saw, and it had over 300 and something comments. So I don't know, but y'all clarify that for me. Post it if somebody can give clarity.
Okay, why them comments cut off? And I said, you know what's so crazy? And I hate to make this a race issue, but I never have this problem with the black owners.
There we go with the racist stuff. Marianne is saying that the post has been removed, so don't know.
The black owners be mad cool. Every black owner, she's asking for a security deposit. Who gets a security deposit? If she was asking for a security deposit, because she did say that. She said, we want a security deposit. If she was asking for a security deposit, why would you rent to me?
Did y'all just catch he said, and because she did say that. Yeah, she said that when y'all rented. Crazy.
Without collecting a security deposit. If that's what you said, that was the agreement. Come on. Answer that for me. If I don't know the name of the group, y'all. Somebody tagged me in it. That's how I joined. It's quite a few, but you can't see it no way because the comments cut off. You could barely see the damn post, and it's buried under. It's like I had to go look like 30 posts under just to find it because nobody's commenting. You can't comment on it, so it's buried deep within the post. And this is like a couple 100,000 people in this group. I don't know if it's a couple hundred, but it was like tens of thousands.
So there were actually, because I watched this before, so when I looked again, there's over 360-something thousand people in that Facebook group. But you notice how he's telling them, well, y'all can go look for it, but it's so buried, you ain't gonna see it. You got to scroll and try to find it and blah, blah, blah. He's doing that on purpose to basically dissuade them from going to look for it because it's gonna make them feel like, well, if you gotta do all that, I ain't gonna do all that to try to find it. But again, when I went to it, it was literally the first post, and it wasn't right away. It was late last night when all this stuff, people was, Vell, did you see? And then, oh no. And also, then I got the email itself from the person. Erica was saying if Miss Chen was just in the group, she couldn't turn off the comments. Oh, interesting. Herself, the owner of the group, had to do that probably because the D-hags were being ridiculous. Oh, thank you so much for, you know what? And you're totally right. I didn't even think that part through. Thank you so much, Courtney. So that's the other piece. So even if the comments are off, or if the post is deleted, well, she could delete the post. But if the comments are turned off, she don't have control over that. So whereas he's trying to, and he knows this stuff. He knows that. You know, he's been in social media for over a decade. He knows those things, but he also, those chest hairs need to relax, right? They need to be shaved off. It really look like a walrus then, though. But he knows those sort of nuances that he knows his general audience doesn't. So he just throws out words like that to try to make her look guilty. Like, oh, she posted this and now she running. Y'all see, she was lying because now when we called her out, she running and she turning off comments and blah, blah, blah. She ain't turn off comments because she ain't got no control to be able to do that. However, the moderator of the group probably turned the comments off because, again, the foolishness, and I didn't even read them all. I don't know. I read some. I probably read maybe close to 50 comments, maybe. And they were very toxic. And then I just got tired of reading because it was toxic and pointless. Like it wasn't going nowhere. And some of them were people defending her and all of that. But there were the D-hags, the flying monkeys, the suckerettes and suckers. The guys are the suckers and suckerettes. they were in there being racist and all of that. And so I wasn't feeling that. I thought it was horrible. It's not good.
So it's buried underneath. So you're not going to be able to find it. And because it's no activity on the post, it's not going to pop to the top. So good luck. But if, in fact, you wanted a security deposit, why would you rent to me without collecting the security deposit? Can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what really happened?
I thought you was already telling us what really happened. Also, we're at 440 likes. We got to be at 500, or I'm going into a commercial. I don't know. We probably got a minute or two left in this, so let's get the rest of these likes up, and then we can move on to the next topic. But if we're not, we'll just hit a commercial for a minute or two or five.
She found out who I was. She found out who I was. She looked me up. She found out who I was. And then she said, you know what?
This is, he has a habit of doing this. I can't wait to break down even my story with him in the lunch machine. He will create this narrative out of his, out of the air, and make it sound like it's factual, like he knows this to be a fact, when it's all based on assumption, and they buy right up into it. And so he's doing that in this moment now. It's so crazy. This is Jim Jones all over again. This is modern day Jim Jones, cult leader, for those of y'all who don't know.
She found out who I was, and then she said,
let me remind a little bit more.
She found out who I was.
Here it is.
Can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what really happened?
Can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what really happened? Now he's about to lead into assumptions. She's never said these things. I have talked with her communicated with her behind the scenes. Literally gives no inclination that that's even on her radar. Like it ain't on the rest of our radars either. But he's about to state this fact. Why is it so blurry on y'all side? I'm looking at my monitor and I don't know. Why it's so blurry?
She found out who I was. She found out who I was. She looked me up. She found out who I was. And then she said, you know what? Let's go after him. Let's do something. Let's figure this out. And I'm sorry. It's not happening. This is the kind of shit I go through, right? All I'm trying to do is live a little life. That's it. All I'm trying to do is make a little business, live a little life. And you got people like, oh girl. And I don't want to make it a race thing, but I mean, my God, today.
You see all these angles he's taking? Because he's like, one of these angles, they're going to appeal to different demographics of my audience. Either the money piece, because some of them so broke and they just so enamored with his little bit of money. Then you got those who many of us, we've had issues with racism, et cetera, et cetera. So he like, okay, for those who ain't money hungry, I'll get you over here on the racism side. Then the others, I'm gonna get you with I'm in the victim mode piece. They always after me. I'm just trying to live my life and be to myself, and everybody keep coming for me. What alternate universe? Because all I see is you harassing people, and then when they clap back, you become the victim. That's all I'm seeing. That's the running theme.
But I will tell you though,
we got 49 more likes we need, and this is really almost over. So we're gonna go into a commercial if y'all ain't ready. Let me know if y'all need some more time for them likes. We're gonna just do a commercial.
No, a security deposit. I guess you wanted to collect one before we rent it, but you had to put that on the Airbnb before we pay for it. You should have put that on there before we pay for it. And we've done places where we'll do a security deposit. I don't prefer doing a security deposit. What I prefer is paying that $59 for that insurance and showing you a binder so that you see your shit is insured. I prefer doing that. I'm an insurance whore. I prefer. Yeah, we have photographs after we left. What we do is we take pictures before we even touch anything. Ramon will take a picture of everything. Darren or Kareem, before anything gets moved, touched, so we can put everything back the way it was when we left. I started having them take pictures last year. Last year we started doing it. So this stuff you don't know. The Airbnb house in Miami should get your money back. Well, ain't nothing we could do. We put a $10K deposit down on a mansion in Miami on Airbnb. She just messed up. Yeah, man, I would never put that much money down on a fucking Airbnb. No $10,000, because it's up to the homeowner to give it back to you. I mean, you could have, Airbnb mediate or whatever, but bruh, it ain't even. Oh, and some of the people in that group have been to dining with Darius Cooks. Just FYI, right? Somebody was like, "Oh no, I've been several times to his dinner parties. It's not like that. What are you talking about? No, he doesn't do any of that. Everybody's gone at a certain time." And then there was a couple people that talking about some, if you ever come to this city, can you do it at my house? If you ever come here, can you do it here? I had a guy, no lie. If you're ever in Mississippi, can you please do it at one of my properties? No lie. They legit said that. So, I don't know what these people be going through, man. I don't know, bro. I'm just out here living my life.
Oh. My bad. I got back right in time. Y'all weren't supposed to know I left. I was like, I can do this real quick. So as we saw his, as Courtney Witherspoon is saying, his vile narrative of what occurred. We are still a few likes short. So this will give me time. I'm going to play a quick commercial, and I'm going to play the shorter one. We're at 463. We have to be at 500 likes. I may give it a break because our numbers are jumping around a little bit. Just give me 475, and then we'll get started with the next piece of this. All right, I'm back. I'm trying. I'm so rusty. For one, I thought that was my longer video. I thought it had a little piece to it. But where are we? Okay, there we go. 475. Y'all hit it right on the mark. As soon as I looked up, I was about to be like, oh, I'm gonna have to give y'all something else. Okay, let me. I'm gonna do a couple comments just because I'm trying not to let the comments get too far behind, and then we're gonna move into the last two segments. We got two more segments, then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, look like we're gonna be at 3 hours with this one. I thought I'd get it done a little quicker, but. Spider-Man is saying this explains why he didn't want to rent an Airbnb for the Thanksgiving event he was supposed to with his friends and family, and got mad at the family member because they wouldn't do it. Thank you so much, Spider-Man, for tying that together, because that's something that did not 100% didn't occur to me, in the sense of this would have been a situation where it would have been harder for him. I don't know why he wouldn't have just had her do it or somebody else, but then they would have had to know his business too. So they would have had to maybe have access to his credit card, all that. And I'm sure Crystal wasn't going. So probably, spending Crystal as an Uncle Ben probably was spending time with their family. So that, again, there we go. Tying pieces together. That makes sense. Why is he not in jail? Scamming, we've kind of answered that before. He's a penny scammer, so he's doing the little penny scams. So they're not big enough as a whole. Absolutely, they're big enough. The problem is you got to have people sticking together and coming together like class action style. And when you got these one-off situations like this lady, as much as she's blasting him, exposing him, and all of that, she ain't probably finna go through suing him and all of that. It's just like too much. Most people, like, I'm just move on with my life. I ain't got time for it. And, you know, she's dramatic, as in Darius Cooks. She's dramatic. Most people ain't got time for all the smoke. And, you know, you see how she weaponizes her audience. So most people just don't want to be bothered with all that. They just want to have the peaceful life he claims he wants. Someone called him glitter booty before, and he went Berkshire, yet he calls himself a sissy. I don't understand. Yeah, but he does that. It's selective outrage. So he'll call himself all kind of stuff, and he'll put his business out there and talk about his prepping himself to get ran in, pounded. He'll talk about all of that, but God forbid you mention anything about it. I mean, he got pictures on the internet, him nude with his, you know, bread basket sitting there, tooting his booty up for the men, the ones he pay for and the ones who just troll the apps. All that, but let y'all mention it. Oh my God, you're homophobic. Oh, this is horrible how they treat me. All of it. It says my Julia Child's voice was spot on. Thank you so much. No, y'all know I just be sometimes going to a voice. When I lived in Chicago, I remember the cupcake truck fiasco. Yes. So Life with Londa. Well, you remember the cupcake truck fiasco. What you probably don't know or haven't made the connection with as of yet is that truck was the truck he stole from me and our other business partner. It started out as the lunch machine truck. He tricked us into giving it to him and then rebranded it, which was not the agreement, rebranded it completely, even repainted the truck and everything, and then took it out as the Sugar Whip, I think he was calling it. Took it out as the Sugar Whip. Then when that was failing, the Cupcake Gallery was failing, his the Fresh Go scam was coming to get him, the local holla, all these businesses he started like 5 businesses within the same year. They all came tumbling down. And he then sold the truck that we owned through the business. We all owned it. Sold the truck from up under us, stole the money that was in the bank account, all kind of stuff, forged documents, all kind of stuff. So yeah, the cupcake truck was a Sugar Whip. So that's what you're aware of, but I'm sure probably wasn't aware that he stole that truck. That was when it was all going down. That was when I was starting to be like, what is wrong with him? What is happening? Explain what happened with Sonny, please. I actually have video. I can't do that in this video, but I am going to revisit that topic in detail. But I also already have videos on that topic from some of our beginning days. I'm actually, remember on our next break, next time I play a video, I'm pulling it up now. So I'll put it in the chat to help you find it a little. Well, I'll help you find the series. I don't know which episode it was. But so yes, but stay tuned. Subscribe if you're new and all of that. And yeah, we'll cover all that again in more detail with more receipts, because my stuff is coming together a lot better now. My filing system is a lot better. Please tell folks that you were friends longer than you were dating. Was defending this in another chat. Yes, we were friends without going too deep into that, but we were friends. We dated for, some of y'all don't know this and it becomes a whole thing. We dated when he was 19 years old for about 1.5 years, and then became friends for nearly a decade after that. We never did nothing, just platonic friends, literally like brothers. And we had a friend group. It was a bunch of us. It wasn't just me and him, a bunch of us. Traveled together, all that stuff. Eventually, we became business. He asked me to get into a business with him and his best friend from high school. I didn't want to, but back then I had a hard time saying no. And I told him I just would be an angel investor because I already had my own business, 2 of them. And I said I would be an angel investor because I didn't have the bandwidth to do nothing extra. But like he does with, like, even this homeowner we're talking about now, you'll see this in a minute as we get to these other receipts. You'll see how he agrees to anything to get you to buy into it, to get you to go with it. But then when you get in it, he flips the script on you. And that's what he did. But I wasn't used to that at that level. I can look back at certain little things, even as us being friends hanging out, where he would do that. Like say, let's go out to eat. He'll say, let's go out for breakfast tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, oh, okay, well, okay, cool. Go out to breakfast. And then he like, oh, could you take me over by the walk? This one, he wasn't driving and stuff. I need to go to the Fresh Mart. And then be like, oh, okay, take him there. Oh, they ain't got this here. Let's go over there to the so-and-so. Let's go over there to Pete's Produce. Next thing you know, I'm at the fourth grocery store. We started at 8 in the morning and it's going on 2:30 or 3 p.m. And I'm like, I was not trying to spend my whole day with you. It's that. But back then I was a different kind of person. I was a yes person, like but I just had a hard time saying no and hurting people feel all kind of stuff. Now I'm different. That's why some people think I'm a bitch, but I'm just protecting my space. I got boundaries. But yeah, so we were friends for a decade, dated for about a year and a half at the very beginning. He was 19. I was like 20. I had to be like 24, 25. I'm 47. He looked 107, but he's 41. I'm 47. That was a long time. Nobody cares about that. It's meaningless. However, he uses it to act like that's the reason I speak out, like I'm some heartbroken, jealous ex. I was talking to Patreon about that. I was like, let me show y'all the love of my life. For real. And I showed them a picture. It was like, I've never dated anyone who looked like him before or after. Never dated nobody that big. Never dated nobody that's funny looking. Ever. He was after my the love of my life. Dated the love of my life. We broke up. And I had to call it quits. It was like it wasn't going nowhere. Y'all have been there. Some of y'all have been in them kind of relationship. And I ain't gonna go too deep because I'm gonna do a whole video about it, or a whole live about it. Y'all can really ask the questions. But anyway, y'all know how you break up with somebody and you like, I ain't gonna never fall in love like that again. I dated the fine, buff, intelligent, like funny, fun person. Let me date somebody who just ugly and funny and smart. Let me get an ugly boy a chance. And that's what happened. I met him about 2-3 weeks after I broke up with the love of my life. And I was like, okay, he funny looking. He looked like a Barney, but he was smart. We still see that today. He was 19. He was wise beyond his years. I didn't know that was from scamming at the time. I later learned, oh, he was, because he'd been in the streets scamming. So I was like, yeah, let me get the fat funny guy who's smart, give him a chance. And Lord, he ended up being the worst. I got with the love of my life again 10 years later than that. I ain't never been with him since. I dumped him because I realized that fat, funny, and ugly ain't good enough. You know the 80-20 rule? He was the 20. And I was like, oh, this 20 ain't working. This 20 ain't working. Plus 3 inches of sadness. I had to let it go. And a narcissist. I ain't know it was on that level. I was just like, he's so self-absorbed. He didn't really pay attention to what's happening in my world. I didn't realize he was a sociopathic narcissist. I didn't realize that. So, right. Who just said that? Great con artist. He was conning back then. He conned me into thinking he was a 19-year-old who was wise beyond his years, had his stuff together, had an apartment, had a car, lost both of them within the first 2 months of knowing him. Carless, apartmentless, sleeping on my sofa. And I say that because he broke my bed. That's a whole nother story. I told y'all these stories. Who was that? I hate I'm so bad with names. Our new Vipa person who was asking about the Sunny story. I told all this stuff. I'm gonna put the playlist in here for y'all. Some of y'all get y'all something to binge watch till we come back again. We may be back tomorrow with the part 2 of this because we may have a special guest, but I ain't gonna promise because I gotta make sure it's gonna happen. But we may have a special guest tomorrow. Might have an interview. Anyway, Spider, and then we're gonna get to the next. Yeah. That house in Houston doesn't scream millionaire, nor does the neighborhood. Right. He paid like $200,000 for that house. It's probably worth maybe $3 now. It's just a townhouse. It's just a townhouse. That's all. I truly don't understand why people blindly follow people who constantly do wrong. Yeah, and are outed constantly by different people each time but yet they want to say it's everybody else's fault. Excuse me, and not that person's fault. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so now we're moving on to, yeah, we got our, I should have did our commercial break before this, but there y'all go. But now we're going to move on to the owner's version of this story. So there's a couple layers to this. So I'm going to take it from different perspectives. So first we have, she had posted that in the group. People from the exposing groups, the coalition, they saw her post and then they reached out to her. They reached out to her in the DMs. And this was one of the very brief part of one of the exchanges. And the person reached out to her and said, hi, Darius is trying to use this as proof that he informed you on the party and you okayed it. Do you have a screenshot of what he asked you for you to answer this question? So what they have here at the very bottom is a screenshot, like a picture of Darius on his IG lives lying. So he gets his laptop and he's, like I told y'all, he's filming his laptop from his phone and he's showing the reservation, all these things. But again, a little bit of the truth wrapped up in a big ass lie. So he'll show pieces of the truth, wrap it up in a big ass lie. And that because the flying monkeys, they don't think for themselves. And they blind to everybody else that talk about Darius Cooks. I ain't listening. He ain't saying it. I ain't gonna listen. I'm only listening to what he say. And so they miss the facts. That's like, oh yeah, that part of the story is true. This is, actually him going on that page maybe and showing his reservation or parts of it or whatever he's showing. But he ain't finna show all the details I'm about to show because it would then expose him for the liar that he is. So that was a piece. So people were checking in with her like, hey, we're just trying to figure out what's happening. And basically if we can help spread the word, etc. Then the next thing you know, and now I don't know none of this stuff is happening. I don't follow. As much as people think I'd just be all up in the Darius Cooks world, I do not. So I notice stuff when people bring it to my attention or if it happens to pop on my timeline, which it doesn't often do. So next thing you know, I think this is when I found out, or maybe I forgot. Somebody might have texted me. I can't even remember. But yes, I think somebody texted me or something that it was some drama going down. Then all of a sudden I noticed this email. It literally came through while I was on my phone. It's from Miss Chin. And I was like, oh. And it says, hi, I came across your channel on YouTube while I was looking up Darius Cooks because he rented one of my places in Cincinnati in September and was so terrible. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help or share. He had his assistant book something on Vrbo and didn't tell me that he was hosting all these events where his guests were parking all over the neighbors' yards. Was super rude, made such a mess. Then he had the nerve to issue a chargeback for the security deposit. The security deposit that he claimed that she never collected. The one that he just told us in the video, where if she wanted a security deposit, she was supposed to get it before we took it. Before we took our reservation. She did. But then you went back and got it charged back off your card. Craziness. She is a stunt queen. Darius Cooks is a stunt queen. That's what we call them in the gay world, a stunt queen. Right, Alice. Lies don't care who tell them. She says, I want to spread more awareness about the things he does. We are well over here, but thank you, because we need it. The more the merrier. It's super rude and cannot respect him at all. Thanks. Thank you for reaching out. Well, we've communicated. So, she spoke about one of her issues, rather, was the fact that he, hold on, I had to enlarge this with my bad eyes. One of the issues was he didn't pay for the cleaning because he left the house a mess. And on top of that, parking in her neighbor's yards on their grass, etc., to the point that they're calling them. And I think I'm gonna just jump into. She then said she got really pissed when she got a call from the neighbors, and so she tried to get a hold of Crystal, and she says they had to go there in person because Crystal wouldn't give them the contact information to Darius Cooks. So they didn't go there just because they was bored and had a successful person staying, perfect stay happening in their Airbnb, and they just was bored and felt like creating drama. No, they were trying to get in touch with him directly because their neighbors were calling them complaining. And Crystal, who was the only person they had the phone number to, because she rented it, she wouldn't give them Darius' phone number, nor put them in direct communication with him. So they then went to their property to talk to him in person. They said, she went on to say, I told her this event was unacceptable and not communicated beforehand because it's nothing like what his message said. Also, that they were going to cancel the rest of the reservation of the Airbnb for that next day. That's what she was telling them. Like, we about to cancel this. I need this is stuff I'm trying to pull together. That's coming together slowly. But I remember he's canceled a bunch of events secretly. But didn't he cancel in Cincinnati? I feel like Cincinnati was one of the places. So was it because they canceled his reservation and kicked him out? I don't know. I need to ask. Some of this I'm just catching. Interesting. Did all the days happen in Cincinnati? So she said that he's not going to like that. When she informed them, well, we're canceling your next day. We're canceling for tomorrow. Like, y'all got to go now, today, the last day. And she said that Crystal said he's not going to like that, as in Darius. She said, give me his info. I said, give me his info and I'll talk to him. And she said, no one wants to randomly go on a Saturday night at 7 p.m., meaning to her property. Like, those of us who own property and all that stuff, you get that call and you're like, Jesus, like, that's the last thing I feel like doing. She like, that was the last thing I felt like doing. I didn't go there just because. So then she goes on to say, Miss Chen goes on to say, I didn't know who he was until I saw the events he was doing and the article that was going out about Darius Cooks calling Cincinnati sissy nasty. I think I missed this, that he was dragging y'all in Cincinnati too. Or his tasting promotion online. That's how I knew there were 2 tastings on each day. So he wasn't honest with her about that. We'll see that. She gave me the receipts, y'all. We about to hit that next. She's like, the only reason I found out what was happening while it was happening. So I found out this was bigger than what he described when I saw that there's also an article, and that's what this article is. We'll read that. But an article in the Cincinnati or Sissy Black travel website, she sees this and she's like, wait a minute. Then she somehow gets a hold of this and she's like, Cincinnati, it's saying multiple dates for these dinner parties, which means he's having them at my home. I did not know this. So now she's putting the pieces together, but now he in her house. The devil has gotten in the house. Could you imagine? It's like leaving your back door open and a raccoon get in, and you're like, oh Lord, they're gonna destroy the house, and now it's too late because the raccoon in there running around knocking ish over. That's what it was like. Or a burnt walrus getting in your house. The walrus was in her house already. She's like, oh Lord Jesus, what is this? She said that's when it made sense that the neighbors were telling me they had people parking all over during the day and not just at night. So what she's saying is she was a little like confused because she did know, and we'll get into this, but she did know that he was having a tasting, and we'll see the message. And because he explained that he's a cookbook author, and he was having a tasting of maybe close to 20 people. So, and she thinking like a one-off kind of thing. She didn't know it was multiple days, dinner parties with 30 guests each. Well, if he even filled them up, some of them he ain't filling up no more. She didn't know it was 30 guests per event, and it was 2 a day. She didn't know that she was having upwards of 70 people coming through her house each day. She says, at minimum, if you made a mess, clean up before leaving. She says, don't say I'm going to have a professional cleaning crew to make sure the house is shining when I leave. And she's quoting what Darius Cooks told her. She says, and don't do it. She says, which is why I messaged Crystal again to confirm that there's not going to be a cleaning crew like he said. So she's like, are y'all not going to do the cleaning crew like y'all said now? What's happening? She says, if you don't clean it up, then you need to pay to get it cleaned up and replace everything that needs to be replaced. None of this sounds unreasonable. I'm looking for this crazy woman who's trying to be on a come up, who found out somebody's got a little money that they scammed to get, and she's not trying to be on. I still ain't seen that piece yet. And she said $1,000. She ain't even, a person who on a come up would be like, he owed me $25,000. He owed me $30,000. Oh, he owed me for the whole house. Oh, I got to demolish the house. That's somebody trying to be on a come up. $1,000 ain't finna change this lady's life. She owned multiple properties. Probably ain't even, no, it ain't even the taxes on that one of the houses. Probably barely the utilities for the month for some of these houses. This ain't changing this lady's life. But she making it up because he rich. It's the lies for me. It's the lies for me. So she goes on to say, if you don't clean it, then you need to pay to get it cleaned up and replace everything that needs to be replaced. That's the problem I have with him. I have disputed the security deposit charges. No, I'm sorry. He disputed the security deposit charges as fraudulent and canceled his credit card and said that it was a fraudulent charge to his bank. He reported it as fraudulent and canceled his credit card. She's a stunt queen, if I've ever seen one. You look up stunt queen in the dictionary and you see that face. That. Miss Chen went on to say, if he paid it, I would have let it go. She like, you didn't clean the house. You've done all these things that we didn't agree on. Fine, you're gone, but at least pay to get this house clean. And now y'all want to do that. And when I charge you the security deposit, now you report it as fraudulent. And he got that Amex that he brags about. So, Amex, you can easily do that. They like, well, we ain't paying. Amex needs to cancel his account. They're going to have a lot. They ain't going to be paying. She says, if he paid it, I would let it go. Even when you return a rental car, you need to fill up the gas, or the rental company will charge you $5 to $8 per gallon to fill it up. Yes, I just rented a truck and forgot to fill it up, but thank God they had some issues, so I was able to get a credit. But yes, we know this. She says it's rude and disrespectful. Yes. Like the fact that he just doesn't even consider that in the beginning, this woman provided him with grace because she allowed him to have what she thought was a small gathering. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. This is fine. Just know the parking is limited, et cetera, et cetera. She's thinking he's a reasonable human being. She didn't know no better, though. She's thinking he's a reasonable human being. And he agrees to all these terms and then comes in there like a Tasmanian devil, destroys her house, don't abide by anything he said, won't even pay. Now she got to clean up his mess. That's just mommy issues. Now, again, he got mommy issues. He think he ain't had a kind of relationship where he learned you don't make a mess and expect somebody else to clean it up behind you, after you. This way, as all the mommy issues are coming out. So she also provided me with a screenshot of the quote. So this is when they were initially emailing. Y'all notice anything on here? Because I'm looking. It's for 5 nights. He had it as one adult at first. This is the quote. And he ain't saying what he got a crew of what is it? Was it like 5 of them? I think something like that. 5 or 6 of them. About 6 of them. He got it down here as one. That's the first lie. Also, who the hell is Darius Hollis? Now I've heard of Darius Cooks, Darius Travoy Williams, Darius Cooks Williams, Stunt Queen, Sassy Bitch, Burt Wallis. I've never heard of a Darius Hollis. Who is Darius Hollis? Actually, we had another alias too. Last summer, I don't forget. I'm gonna find this stuff, y'all, because it's gonna be organized when I get it the next time. I'm gonna just dial it up for y'all. He had another alias with oh god, what was that, y'all? Was it it was the temporary TPO, temporary protection order. Temporary order of protection. He used, I can't even, wasn't it Lamarcus, y'all? Some of y'all remember this stuff. Some of y'all know. If you know, put it in the chat. Vanessa saying, oh, the one he used with Mel. Exactly. Yes, Vanessa. I hope you can think of it or somebody. So he had another alias that we found. I feel like it was Lamarcus or something, but I can't remember. But anyway, when DeMarcus maybe. But anyway, he claimed that we were making that up. And it was on legal documents. He claimed we made all that up. We just creating stuff. We photoshopping and stuff. You're caught again, you scammer. So if you're able to have Airbnbs in your name, Vrbos and Airbnbs, why the hell you got aliases? Oh, Demario. Is it Demario? Paula Smith is saying, oh, I remember it was Demario. Thank you. I ain't got to make none of this up. I got witnesses out there. Demario was the other alias. I feel like that was another one too. But Demario is definitely the one I was just thinking of. So he's got a whole alias out there. Well, multiple aliases. But he using he ain't gonna use it no more. Oh, Demarius. Okay, that makes sense. Demarius. So yes. So Darius Crooks. So some of y'all see somebody saying who that Leola saying dang, I'm late. This is Leola. This is Darius Crooks alias. One of them. Darius Hollis. Darius Hollis. It's to make sure that he can still continue to scam because his name is Mud. Now he'll act like he's so successful and everything's working so great, but he has to hide who he is. And it ain't because he's rich and famous. That ain't it. No, it's because when people see Darius Williams or Darius Cooks Williams or Darius Crooks, they're gonna know who he is and they're gonna stay far away from him. So he bamboozled her. So she goes on to say, this is we're talking about Miss Chin. This is the Vrbo homeowner that he scammed, her and her husband. She goes on to say, in the message he sent me in September, it said a cookbook tasting. Cookbook tasting. That don't sound like no big old Dining with Diarrhea fan club party with 30 plus people. So she says, I Googled Darius Hollis cookbook online to verify this because I do not allow events/parties at our house, and I want to make sure this person is valid. She looked up who the Airbnb, don't you have, but I thought Airbnbs you have to, I mean, Vrbos and stuff, don't you got to use your state ID and stuff? Y'all help me out. Wait a minute. Who is that? Mocha Goodness? Put that up there for me, y'all. There we go. Oh, this is good enough too. And everything Gucci. They don't require ID to verify accounts. Put up Mocha Goodness too if y'all can do that for me. Moderate. Who we got down there? Marianne and I look like Kimmy Kagone. But Marianne, if you could put that, there we go. Fake ID, fake credit cards. Because don't you have to? I'm sorry, y'all. It's been so long since I started my accounts that I don't remember how. I feel like I had to put my ID there. I don't feel like you can just create usernames, right? It's not like social media. Don't you have to? Don't your name have to match your ID? Y'all let me know for sure. Some of y'all know. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out. Now I can find out. They don't require ID for the quote. Okay. Thank you, Courtney. They don't require. Okay, because I'm like, okay, do we have? Because they were saying they probably had allegedly a fake ID in the Demarius name. I don't know. Some we just keep our ears to the streets, and we would pay it. We just keep our eyes out. Wouldn't you need a driver's license? So they're saying, okay, Vanessa is saying, did he? Let's go back to Vanessa. What's that? Did he put his assistant's name? And she showed her. We'll get to that in a minute. We're about to break down how he actually got it. I'm just curious because he reached out first under Darius Hollis. So I'm like, how you do that if these Airbnbs and stuff you're supposed to? I thought it was all verified through ID. Like I just saw mine. I don't know. It's been so long since I set it up that I don't remember. Just some things to make you say, So she says, she looked him up. Well, she looked up Darius Hollis, which is not Darius Cooks, and or Darius Travoy Williams, which is his government name, since he's put mine out there a bunch of times. His government name. She didn't see nothing. Had she put in Darius Williams, she would have seen some stuff. She would have ran up on eventually #Darius Crooks. Didn't work for her. So she says, I couldn't find anything about him online. Of course you couldn't. That ain't his name. So she says, it sounds okay to me. So I send him the following message. I'll see that in a minute. Because I think I don't know. So she said, oh yeah, okay. We'll get to that in a minute. So she says, then Crystal, maybe I should jump ahead. This is going to throw me off a little bit. Okay, I'm going to stick with the way my notes are because it's going to throw me off. So she said she couldn't find anything else about him, so he passed her test. I mean, she ain't doing no deep dive. She ain't hiring no PI or nothing. She needed to for this crook. But so she like, okay, I guess this is fine. He has a cookbook. Don't mean he's famous. And he's saying a cookbook tasting. He could not be famous enough yet to really be anywhere. That would make sense as well. And that also might make you think it's going to be a very small gathering. So she says she couldn't find anything on him. So she sent him a message. We'll see that in a minute. Then she says Crystal Chrisley books with the negative reviews. So now she agreed and consulted with Darius. And then she turned around. Next thing you know, here come Christy as the booker. So she says Crystal Chrisley. But this is Uncle Ben, y'all. I'll have a picture for y'all next time. Crystal Chrisley books with the negative reviews. So she's saying that Crystal's account got a bunch of negative reviews on it. She says, it was my mistake for giving them the benefit of the doubt and allowing them to stay. So she's like, I should have paid attention. That's the problem with some of us. We just give people too many chances. Just the benefit of the doubt. She says, I should have canceled when I saw the bad star, but there was no comments with the negative reviews. So she was seeing the bad stars, 1 star, whatever, 2 stars, but nobody was commenting. So she didn't know what the issue was. So she kind of ignored it. Don't ignore them, y'all. Word to the wise. Don't ignore it. Any low stars. Don't ignore it. She says, why would you need to hide your name and have other people book for you, etc., if you're not doing anything wrong? Good question, y'all. If you're not blocked from Airbnb, from being able to book with Airbnb, etc. Why would you hide your name? She says, thinking that he's rich and famous is not a good reason, because we have had way richer, famous people stay that are not disrespectful or hiding things like he is. So she's like, Negro, she ain't racist, I'm saying it. Negro, you ain't even the richest or most famous person that ever stayed in our house. Get out of here. Talking about that's why we saying something. She said, what he makes is nothing compared to what other people make. I agree with you, Miss Chin. I think many of us agree with you. She says, they pay what is required, they respect the rules, and they take care of our house. That's all. This don't seem like no clout chaser to me. This don't seem like nobody who just thought, oh, here goes somebody with some money they've scammed from people. So let me try to get over with them and get $1,000. $1,000. So this is Crystal's star, Crystal Chrisley. She has 27 ratings, and we can't see the details, but 27 ratings, and she has a 3.5 star. Would y'all give her would y'all rent to her at 3.5 stars? Put a 1 in the chat if you would, 2 in the chat if you wouldn't rent to her. 1 in the chat if you would rent to Crystal Chrisley with 3.5 stars. 2 if you would be like, girl, if you don't go somewhere with your scamming friend. Poll question I'm closing out is this Airbnb owner calling Darius up? Is this Airbnb owner calling Darius out? Is it racially motivated? Whatever I was saying. 93% of you are saying no. 7% of y'all are doing that kind of behavior. I think we're clear at this point. Or your finger slip. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple comments and then we're gonna move to the last part, which is the actual receipts that the Airbnb owner shared with me. I'm saying last part, but Jesus, we're gonna be over 3 hours. Jesus. Oh Lord. Okay, let me hang in there. I'm gonna repurpose this. I'm gonna clip this down. Comments. I'm trying to do this so the comments don't get too far behind. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, we good. We catching up with the comments. Says, I guess that must mean there are a good bit of people who think like him and enjoy doing people wrong in this world. Oh yeah, absolutely. Paradox true. They're so gleeful when they're like, drag her. Ooh, I feel another discount code coming on. Like they love it. Oh, some of them, they revel in it. Vanessa saying he loves to bring in his yes men to vouch for him. Absolutely. Everything he'll say. And so, and these people agree with me. And I was talking to some people who, and our D-hivers were not all that. People who never come out and say anything right. He's so problematic. I'm just surprised the videographer hasn't quit. The way I've started to look at this is that anyone who is continuing to hang out with him, they're complacent and they're probably just as bad of a human being as he is. There's no way that good people can stay in that environment for any length of time. So that's how I'm like, okay, in my book, you're just as bad as him. We just ain't seeing what you do because you ain't on IG Lives all day telling it. Love USA is saying, I wonder if this is how he is getting away with things because he is getting other people to sign contracts for him instead of him, like Trump, all of his attorneys pleading guilty for felony. Yes, absolutely. I truly believe that he has studied from the book of Trump. I definitely do. Yes, I would agree. Jace says, how you know how much money that man has? Okay, I feel like that's a flying monkey question. So I don't answer flying monkey questions during the live streams. Troll me in the comments if I feel like it. I might respond. What you cooking, Gilda says, Vell, if you were ever needed to testify against him, would you? I know the answer. Hell yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how much. It's nothing criminal that he's done to me. at this point. But if I don't know, the way the court of law works, I really wouldn't have a lot of value necessarily. I mean, the FBI could come to me for evidence, receipts, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I mean, I guess technically I could be an expert witness. I'm an expert in this criminal in that way, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, if they wanted me to testify, yeah, absolutely. Everything Gucci. Oh my God. So he's banned and Crystal's account is damaged. This is insane. Yes. And remember, he ruined Spunky Brewster's, his original assistant from years ago. He ruined her Airbnb account. And he just moved on to Crystal and whoever else, because that's what we know about. That's because now this is officially out. Can't hide from the receipts, Crystal Chrisley, with your 3.5 stars. We were saying this last summer, though. Last summer. And oh, he just denying it. Just denying it on his IG lives, just lying, pathological liar, sociopathic liar. Misty Blue is saying, to get that low of a rating on Airbnb, you have to have left a place dirty. Yeah, well, they leave every place dirty. They're not following any of the guidelines about how you're supposed to leave the house and empty garbage and do this and this and that. I know how nasty he is, and I'm sure he's let them know that it's just as okay for them to be nasty. On top of that, you got to keep in mind that when he's in these Airbnbs, there's like 6 or so of them. I don't know, it might be a little bit more of them staying in those houses at a time. So you got all that wear and tear happening, and they don't care. And he's describing how nasty Corey is. So he loved to. I just thought he loved to like throw Corey under the bus. I just thought he loves to throw Corey under the bus. That is funny. Oh, Corey, not really. Okay, so now we're moving into the receipt timeline. So this is the receipt sent to me by Miss Chen, who is the homeowner that we've been speaking of. And we're starting here with this here is Darius Cooks. I'm sorry, Darius Harassed. This is, I'm sorry, y'all. I caught myself off guard with that one. This is Darius Harassed. This is alias. He obviously has multiple personalities as well. So maybe he feels like this is still him. So Darius Harassed says, "Hi, I love your," AKA Darius Crooks, because some people slow. So let me make sure I keep it. I get to joking too much, people get lost. So Darius Harassed, AKA Darius Crooks, AKA Darius Travoy Williams, says, "Hi, I love your home. I'm a cookbook author, and we are looking to host a cookbook tasting in the area over the span of a few days. We would love to use your kitchen to host. We travel with our own pots and pans. We also hire a professional cleaning crew to make sure the house is shining when we leave. The tasting is for about 20 people. We know that's supposed to be a lie because you sell 30 tickets per sitting. So you see how y'all already not being completely honest, even though he ain't been really selling them tickets. So most of them dinners now got 15 to 20 people. He says, we start at 7 p.m. and we'll be done by 9:30 p.m. See, here's another lie, because he had 2 dinner times seatings, as he calls them, 2 dinner seatings these days they were there. So he's omitting that we're going to have one at 3 p.m. and then another at 7 p.m. But the people start to leave around 9:30. And it's going to be close to 30 people each time, and all they cars. There's going to be a lot of flying monkeys flying around your neighborhood for them few hours. Just be aware. He ain't said none of that. He says, there's no loud music. Now, y'all know we done heard them bellowing Fantasia and Whitney Houston and Anita Baker screaming to the top of their old crusty neck lungs. Says also, no one is staying overnight except for me and my 2 sous chefs. Let me know if you have any questions. Another lie. Yet another lie from Darius Harassed, because actually, I think he has 2 chefs per shift is what he's described before. I don't know if somebody got fired or they can quit or whatever, but usually he has 2 chefs per shift, and they're working on their food for the next shift while the first group is doing whatever. So usually it's 4 chefs, and then he got Crystal, because she got it rented in her name. Then you got Corey. Then you got Crooks. I'm up to 7 people, and I feel like I'm probably missing somebody. He said it's 3. It's 7. Look like Darius Harassed is a liar and scamming pathological liar as well as Darius Cooks. So the other piece of this too, and I didn't have time to pull the receipts, but I do have them, of when he talks about a professional cleaning crew, what Darius Cooks does when he goes from city to city is he'll place an ad in Craigslist, on Craigslist, advertising for someone to clean up after the dinner party. If I'm not mistaken, he pays them $100 per dinner party. So it's $200 they would have to pay. I don't even know how it works exactly, but I think it's $100 or $150. It's very minimum that he'll pay them. But really, all they really do is wash dishes, and at the end of when it's all done, they will put the tables and chairs, like fold them up and put them wherever for the rental company come pick them up. That's all they do. They not vacuuming, they not wiping all this stuff down. They clean the kitchen, and that is all. We've seen them many times when he was live, where you would see the person and hear them washing dishes and stuff. He gets a very basic, they're there to wash dishes. He hires dishwashers. There's no professional cleaning crew. There never was one. There was never going to be one. He lied to me. He lied to you, Miss Chin, unfortunately. I wish we had known you before. I wish you had knew we was over here doing this work. So then, so this was what he says. Let me know if, his 2 sous chefs, never mind the other 4 people. Then, so she replies and she says, "Hi, Darius. Yes, that would work for us. Please be aware of the parking," which ended up being the biggest goddamn problem. Well, the one that caused the chaos. Because she's like, the first thing she says as she's agreeing to this tasting is a cookbook tasting, is be aware of the parking. It can only park so many cars in the driveway. So she also goes on to say, "Darius, based on the message here, you did not mention there were dinner parties in the afternoon." Oh, this was later. Oh no, this was okay. So the original message exchange was on September 4th, in the morning of September 4th. She doesn't hit him up again, and she's using the Vrbo app because obviously Crystal ain't giving her his phone number, and there are issues now. And so she's messaging him through the app because he ain't responding no other way. And she says, "Darius, based on the message here, you did not mention there were dinner parties in the afternoon. When you book our house, you agree to our rules, and you can't disrespect." So she's like, on top of that, you're being disrespectful too. No surprises here for us. We already know this. So she goes on to say, let me see. And this was on, oh, okay, I see how this is. Yeah, so this was on September 30th. So then she goes on to say, "Please make sure there are no parking in the neighbor's property. This is unacceptable. You guys should have planned out parking spots instead of just letting people park wherever. This is the reason short-term rentals are..." Okay, it got cut off. That part got cut off. So basically, she's probably saying this is the reason why all these cities and stuff trying to ban these Airbnbs and stuff, because you got idiots like you who come and just ruin it for everybody. So then this is a little out of order. This is after she confirmed with Darius that he would be able to do it on on September 4th. So on September 5th, she receives a message from Crystal saying, hello, this booking is per your communication with my boss, Darius. With my boss, Darius. I thought Darius was your friend. Didn't Darius say, for those of y'all who really follow, that Crystal don't work for him? He said that multiple times, that Crystal don't work for him. Crystal not my employee. She don't work for me. She just my friend. Well, how'd you look like here? Oh, it's still up there. Crystal said you her boss. Crystal saying it. Boss. He my boss. Anyway, so Miss Chen then responds. She says, hi, Crystal. I'm assuming no professional cleaners. Okay, so they have the event. They were there, September 30th or whatever was when Miss Chen was sending a message to Darius about the reckless parking all over her neighbors' yards and stuff. So then on October 2nd, now this is days after, she's like, okay, what's happening with what y'all doing over there? She says, hi, Crystal. I'm assuming no professional cleaners are coming to clean the house like he had previously communicated. So she's like, okay, now y'all gone and I'm left with this mess. When are the cleaners supposed to be coming? I guess they're not coming at this point because it's days later. That ain't how this works. They's really supposed to be there while y'all was still there. She says, hi, the professional cleaner that Darius hires normally comes after each tasting to clean up all areas used for the tasting. We paid an overall cleaning fee when booking, correct? Y'all ain't paid for nobody to clean up after no huge ass dinner party. No bunch of flying monkey droppings. That ain't what y'all paid for. The cleaning fees that these Airbnbs have are for the people to come in and remake the beds and, get the stuff out the put it in the washer dryer, mop the floors, stuff like that. Like cleaning, like dusting, stuff like that. Not to clean up after no flying monkey droppings. That's not how that works. Says, Miss Shen replies to Crystal saying, I see. The condition of the house is not a normal cleaning. Obviously, it was a party. Hold on, y'all. I had something going and I smell it. I forgot I was cooking. That's why I had ran away before. I'm playing a commercial for y'all. I'll be right back. I smell it. Hold on. What am I play? I'm play this. No, I'm play this. I'll be right back. I'm back. Real life kicked in. Sorry. I thought I'd be off by now. I had started boiling a pot of potatoes about 2 hours ago. I had it really low though, y'all. And all of a sudden I'm like, what's that smoky smell? Pot all burned down on the bottom. I think my potatoes still good though, because I kept them whole. You gotta love real life. Hit them likes. Y'all see how hard I'm working here? I'm sitting here trying to cook and entertain at the same time. Burning stuff. Maybe I could have Darius hire a cleaning crew to clean my pot. Okay, so she, Miss Chen goes on to say, hold on, let me pull it. I like that one. That's one of my favorites. She goes on to say, I see the condition of the house is not normal cleaning. There are additional deep cleaning required. It's not in good condition. There are also stained bedding, probably from Crooks. He looks like the kind of stain, a burnt walrus laying in your bed. You know that would leave a stain. Stained walls. What the hell are they doing? Oh, probably the food. That slop Flying monkey slopping that stuff and it's flinging all over the place. Y'all haven't seen these plates. That's the kind of stuff probably laying on her walls. She says, I will be happy to send you photos for your records. We will have to charge against the security deposit. So again, she's willing to work with them. She didn't give them, you know, a day or two or whatever it's been to do what they said they were doing, which was supposedly going to hire a cleaning crew. They then say, well, Crystal then doubles back because she do whatever her master, because she the head D-hag in charge, whatever her master had her doing, manipulating her, ruining her name. She's backing him up with his foolishness. And now she's like, oh, we thought that we paid for the cleaning fee. That included cleaning up behind us. Yeah, no. So then Crystal responds, please send pics. This is the game they play with people. They've been playing this game forever. I've seen so many examples of this. She said, yes, we will. Miss Chen don't know. This is all part of the game. And then Miss Chen describes, she said, the chairs are from Serena and Lily, and the walls have to be repaired. All the tiles replaced and stained bedding. I have more attachments coming. She did actually send me some pictures. I did not think, I thought I pulled everything. I was rushing, but I don't have the actual pictures in here. But the truth is, when people are not used to taking pictures, they're not the best pictures. So it's like too close up and you always like, what is this, a chair, a wall? But she did show like a chair had some damage because you got them sitting up in them chairs. And then one of the walls, like on the corner, you know how like if you're not paying attention and you're moving furniture and you nick right at the corner of the wall and it chips the paint. She shows that, and you can tell I come from construction, so you can tell when it's a fresh chip because then the, like part of it is still hanging off a little bit. It's not a clean chip. So she showed that, but I didn't get like the pictures of the stained bedding. I wish I did. Y'all know I would have remembered that. I would have remembered, but I just felt like the pictures I got, they proved that there's issues, but it wasn't like, honestly, y'all be like, what's that, Bill? Which part is that? It'd be one of those. So per the owner, so some of this communication that we have in writing, let me go back to where am I? This one. So some of these messages they look a little disjointed because she told me that her and Crystal were actually having phone calls in between some of these messages. So some of the communication picks up where the last conversation left off. So it may seem a little like, okay, well, what's happening next? So she sent the attachments of the bedding, the stain, you know, all that stuff, stain bedding. Still don't know what kind of stains yet. Then Miss Chen responds and she says, also sent more to your email, 2 emails with photos, not including the floor photos or inside the cabinets or deep cleaning all over the kitchen. She says, actually 3 additional emails with photos. So she's sending this stuff. She's sending it to him. Says, where now Darius Cooks is still claiming where the photos, where the pictures. He all on here. We saw it. He already had them. She sent them to Crystal, his head D-hag in charge. Why are you on social media talking about some where the pictures, like she ain't never sent y'all the pictures? That explains why she never resent them via social media, because she had already sent them to you. She says, this is Miss Shen again, actually 3 additional emails with photos. So multiple emails. Worst I've ever seen at this house. Everything was new from designer brands. So she's like, y'all just really tore up this house. Here's Crystal. This is not our normal process either, as we do this every week. This is a group of professional adults. I'm sure they are going to dispute some of this, but we're gone now a day early. So he had to cancel. Well, maybe they were supposed to stay. I'm really wondering if he canceled one of those Cincinnati dates. My apologies again for the miscommunication with you and Darius. So she like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I know he using my name and he using me as well, but I ain't got, the stuff he said about you behind the scenes, Crystal. Ooh. If you only knew, you're only good enough for these damn Airbnbs, basically at this point, and helping him out, the stuff you do for him when he get his mommy makeovers and you nurse him back to health. Ooh, if he talked about me like a dog like that. Ooh. And then using her good name, making it mud. Got people making fun of her, calling her Uncle Ben. Comparing her to Teletubbies and stuff. Anyway, Miss Shin responds, if they did this at my house, I'm sure they do it other places. Miss Shin, you ain't never said a truer word. You ain't never, you she like, I ain't no fool. If they've done that at other people out, they definitely have done it. If they've done it here, they've done this other. This ain't first time. This ain't no one-off situation. This is what y'all do. I just realized y'all scammers. This is what y'all do. And you were right. Okay, so now we got another, this one not too long, I don't know, a minute or two or something. This is Darius Cooks, another IG lie, where he's telling the Flying Monkeys and anybody who will listen that this is what happens. This is normal for successful people. This is what happens. The only reason this has happened is because he is successful and has a little money. That's why. He ain't caused this hateful people who don't want people to be successful in life.
I don't think this through at all. So if I go to an event space, number one, you've got to have a certain level of insurance.
And he starts off telling y'all that y'all don't think. Y'all ain't got good common sense. And that because people were in the chat saying, well, hey, why don't you, instead of having all these problems with these Airbnbs, why don't you get event spaces and like cut all this extra stuff out? Just do event spaces as well. I mean, instead, rather. And he's like, here's the problem. Y'all don't think. And then he calls himself educating because he's the smartest person in the room, always. And narcissists and sociopaths are.
Event space. Number two, they charge you by the hour. So here's the problem with an event space. And this is one thing that you guys don't think about. You don't think this through at all. So if I go to an event space, number one, you've got to have a certain level of insurance at an event space. Number two, they charge you by the hour. We have to do prep, right? So that means we need this 24 hours. Nothing is cooked. Do you realize this? When we show up in a city, everything is done from scratch, right? So this is nothing. We don't do this shit like we buy pre-made stuff. Every little thing, every piece of cornbread is made from scratch. Every piece of fish is fabricated and cut and cleaned from scratch. Every piece of red onion you put in your mouth, right, from the salad is made from scratch. It's everything, right? So how do you expect us to rent an event space and keep the price at $289? Where's the team going to sleep, right? So now our price has now exponentially increased for the venue because we need it for prep. We're not just doing an event the day of. We need it 24 hours, right? We running 2 events a day. So if we did an event space, now we got to pay extra time. Then, not only that, where does the team sleep, right? So now I got to get 6 hotel rooms for everybody. So I got to pay 6 hotel rooms. If I'm going, like we going to Austin this week. We are Austin Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We leave on Monday. That's 6 hotel rooms for 4 nights, right? Then you have to remember that, and you don't know this, but not everybody works 9 to 5, right? Some people work better 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Darren and Kareem are night owls. Darren sleeps in the day and he's up at night. So it's easier for Darren to do his work 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, right? Whereas Tammy, by 10 o'clock, Tammy is tapped out and she's going to bed. Ramon will stay up to make sure everybody cool, but about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, Ramon goes to bed. right? So you have to remember that everybody don't work a shift. Nobody works a shift, right? So there's a lot of stuff that goes on with dining with Darius Cooks that happens behind the scenes that unfortunately you don't know about, and it does not work or bode well if it's not in the home. If we had to rent a place, your ticket would be $689 to cover hotel, cover the extended cost of the event space and all the other things necessary.
So basically, he's telling us that he does not run a professional business. He's telling us that he doesn't do structure at all. I don't know how we go from, because he has an event space, he has to have 6 hotel rooms. Why you still can't rent the Airbnb just for your people to stay at? And again, bull. But there's a lot of complaints about money. And oh, this is going to cost this, and this is going to cost this. But you're a multi-millionaire. He's just literally just complaining about his credit card bill was $40,000 or something. But you're a multi-millionaire. You're always talking about your millions upon millions, but you complain. It's the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. And I understand people being cheap. I do understand that as well. But your math ain't math, because the truth of the matter, this costs you more money and reputation and all of that than if you were to just get an event space. But he doesn't like to abide by rules. That's the problem with that. That being in an event space would require him and his staff to have the proper, food and sanitation certificates and serve safe and all of that. They don't have those. Well, I'm gonna say they all don't have those, but he doesn't. He just admitted that he don't even have one, and it's expired or whatever. And he has to get his worker is gonna be his proctor, which means she's gonna do it for him probably. They're gonna scam. Craziness. So the poll question I just put up is, do you think that Darius Cooks is as rich as he claims to be? 95% of y'all is like, nope, absolutely not. Because he complains about the littlest thing. And now he loves to throw, I don't know how their dinners would go from per person, because he already overcharging. I don't know how he says the dinners will go from $289 per person all the way up to $600. He's about to charge them $400 and something for this 3 Kings thing that they're supposed to be having. And with that, it's 3 hosts and all the people who are going to be cooking. So it's going to be way more staff. The math ain't mathing, because this still should be more economic than what the venture you're about to take. And y'all charging only $400 and something. So quit lying in our face. We're not slow. I mean, his people slow, because you see him. Y'all don't think. This is the problem. Y'all don't think. Who tells other grown folks this is the problem? Y'all don't think. That sounds like something you say to your teenage child. See, 92% of you says that nope. Well, actually, it went up to 95%. So the majority of y'all definitely are saying that you don't think that Darius Cooks is as rich as he claims that he is. Okay, then we're moving on. Let me see where we at now. Where I leave off at. So that was pretty much that's the gist of that. We may have more. We will see. But that is the gist of the drama with Darius Cooks and his latest grift. I was going to read the Cincinnati article, but I'm not going to do that because I'm tired. But what I will do is read a couple hacks. I got one more video to play too. Let me see. There's only one. Yeah, one more video. Now I'll move the rest of this to the next live. So the other thing that's very interesting to me is the selective outrage of the D-Hags. This one person puts Renata Fair says, trying to ruin a black business, huh? So that was in response to Miss Chin putting up the post, calling Darius out in the Airbnb group, talking about some trying to ruin a black business, huh? And then an eye roll emoji. What? He is literally getting called out every other week for some restaurant he's gone to where he's trying to ruin a black business. It's the selective outrage. You're okay with him doing it, but not somebody of a different race, I guess is what you're saying. Then somebody else comes in, Key Williams says, you ain't seen the video about the cats in the Airbnb freezer. So I don't know where that comes from. It was a racist statement, but I don't know if they're trying to imply that Darius did that or they saw it on social media somewhere about something else. I don't know, but that's the kind of stuff. Another person says, stop pulling race into everything. If you don't know, this man is a scammer, a lie, and a cheat. Literally made Memphis news. Check his BBB ratings. He's nasty and ugly as hell to plenty black. I thought she was just saying he's ugly as hell. That too, but also ugly as hell to black businesses. Go check his page before you spew ignorance. For real, for real. Very true. Very true. The other thing that I did pull, is it here? I hope it's here. Please let it be here. Nope, I forgot to pull it. So we have somebody was asking about E-Class. So E-Class is the guy who supposedly assaulted Darius Cooks over the week. What was that? Was that 2 weeks ago now? I forgot now. The last drama before this one. And somebody was saying about all this drama. They just posted E-Class head over there, basically like go get Darius Cooks. And so Darius Cooks responds, he should probably worry about the warrants he has. So Darius Cooks is saying that E-Class has warrants now. Then somebody responds and says, that man don't have no warrants, laughing emojis. And then Darius says, actually, he does. Taking property from someone, even if you give it back, is illegal. The camera is in broad daylight. Place him near me. The camera's in broad daylight. Place him near me. Now something ain't right. He's saying the cameras in broad daylight. Place him near me. Are we talking about surveillance cameras? Because I thought you had this on film yourself. Why would you need the surveillance cameras from the streets? He says the detective also has his cell phone records. Also not making sense. The detectives are going to pull cell phone records for a minor situation like that. When you have money, you have to move differently. Let me know if you have any additional questions. Do y'all believe it? So people was like, and I thought I pulled that, but I didn't. But people were basically in the comments saying he's full of BS, as in Darius Cooks. Like, ain't no detective finna spend this kind of time on no situation like this. Darius didn't even get touched. His phone got touched and it snatched from him. He didn't get touched. It's a bunch of he said, she said, as in Darius Cooks meant the she. Closing out this poll, does Darius avoid event spaces to cut corners and not be held accountable? 89% of you say yes. 11% of y'all, hey, suckerettes and suckers. Hey. Last poll question, I think. Oh, and then I'm gonna play this video. Then we're gonna get out. I'm gonna read some comments and then we're gonna get out of here. I kind of didn't cut the show short. Yeah, 3.5 hours. We did enough. We'll finish the rest of it later. But the poll question that just went up, are the D-Hive suckers and suckerettes for believing everyone is jealous of Crooks? I'm sorry, everyone is jealous of Darius Hollis, aka Darius Crooks, aka Darius Travoy Williams. Are they suckers and suckerettes for believing that everyone is after Darius and his multiple aliases? His multiple personalities. Okay, so I'm gonna play this last one. Then I'm gonna read the comments. Let me see. Yeah, this one here. I feel like I didn't play one, didn't I? Oh well, we'll play it one day.
It was fine in Cincinnati. Actually, we had a blast in Cincinnati. We had a really.
Oh, this was what I was. This here is about Darius Cooks' next plan for 2024. He's done with the dining with Darius Cooks. Well, they're not done. He says he had 3 more cities left. with the Dining with Darius Crooks or Dining with Darius Hollis, Dining with Diarrhea events. He has 3 more cities left, and he's like, he's done with them. He ain't doing no more of these. Then he's gonna eventually, you know, they got the 3 Kings thing that I almost don't think I'll ever jump off. If it does, it's gonna be very interesting drama, and they're gonna fall out. I guarantee you that. I ain't gonna say everybody, because Corey's so far up Darius's ass that it looks like Darius can do no wrong. He might be the female or male, they version. I don't want to misgender him. He might be the they version of Crystal for Darius Cooks. He's the they version. As it not them, they. He's the they version because he just looked like Darius can do no wrong in his eyes. He's enamored. He wants to be Darius's husband. He said in a non-sexual way, but he want to marry Darius. He feel like they can be a power couple, but he claims to be a straight man. I ain't misgendering him. I'm just saying what he said out of his own mouth multiple times in posts and everything in front of women, caking for a man, a gay man. And he say he a straight man. Talking about he'll marry him. But they just won't have sex. Okay. I mean, it's okay to come out. It's okay. We're in a different world now. It's okay. But some people need a process. If that's your process, to each his own. I don't believe in forcing people out the closet. I believe everyone should come out in their own time, in their own way. And if you need to gradually do it by falling in love with a sissy, stunt queen sissy, sassy bitch, if that's your way, have at it. I support you. I speak your name, Corey. Well, you're saying, I see, hey, you there saying he may be asexual. I don't think so. He has children and stuff from what I hear. And supposedly he claims to be a straight man. He claims to be. So anyway, so this is Darius Cooks talking about his plans. Again, he's done with the Dining with Darius Cooks once he gets these 3 out of his system. Well, done. We'll see how well that goes. And but here's him talking about it. Then I'll move on to the comments.
Good time. No, we ain't got to pop off at Cincy. Everything was fine at Cincinnati. Actually, we had a blast at Cincinnati. We had a really good time. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to miss y'all terribly because, honey, Dining with Darius Cooks is coming to an end. As fast as it started, it's over. This is going to be it. We only got 3 more cities left. Austin, Texas this week. Next week, we go to, he was hanging out with Diddy. Oh, Lord. Next week, we go to Jackson, Mississippi, and then we finish up in Huntsville. And that's it. Dining with Darius Cooks, as we know it, is officially a wrap. Is officially a wrap.
And that's also the piece. Some people are thinking he's voluntarily doing that. Now, there's a part of him that's just over it. But also him being exposed as much as he has is causing his sales not to be what they used to be. So these dining events aren't as profitable and as, much of a cash cow as it used to be. Now, he'll claim that it is because, he's a pathological liar. So he's going to brag about all this money supposedly he made and show fake screenshots and all that. But the truth is he has canceled many events secretly and some publicly. So this ain't the grift is waning off. And on top of that, he ain't loving having to deal with his D-hags face to face like that. No way. So he's moving into other grifts. So that's the summary of this. And we're about halfway through this particular video.
It's going to be bittersweet. Oh, it's going to be sweet, child. It's going to be sweet. Don't get me wrong. I love y'all. I do.
See moments of honesty. Somebody saying, oh, it's going to be bittersweet. He's like, it's going to be all sweet. I ain't got to deal with y'all no more. Then he's like, no, I love y'all. No, the honest was, no, I'm totally fine. There's no bitter to this. I ain't got to deal with y'all. And I'm about to grift on something else. I'm good. But now he got to straighten it out just in case they like, I thought you loved us. I thought you fake love us.
But I just want to get back to being a regular person. Like, what is that? You know, like going to Home Goods, right? Or, you know, going to church on Sunday. I haven't been to church in years, right? People are dying.
I think it's very clear he has not been to church in years. I'm sure the church walls will come crumbling down when Satan walks in, a spawn of Satan.
I'm a cry. Oh, I guarantee you I won't. I guarantee you I will not be crying.
So he's letting them know I could give 0 F's about not seeing y'all no more. I don't care about that. I don't care about y'all like that. And the 2 polls, well, close that one out. Poll I closed out was, are the D-Hive suckers and suckerettes for believing everyone is jealous of Crooks? 91% of y'all say yes. 8% of y'all, I don't know what's happening. I ain't gonna even try to stress myself out to figure it out. Then I'm gonna do the last one, and then I'm gonna read comments, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I'd have held y'all almost 4 hours. Look at that. It was necessary. I feel like it was necessary. Do you feel like, it put a number 1 in the chat if you feel like it was necessary, or 2 if you feel like it wasn't? Do you feel like Darius Cooks is just going to create another grifter scam? 100%. Wow, 100% of y'all like, yep, absolutely, absolutely. I agree with y'all wholeheartedly. All right, so we only got a few little comments, so we're gonna do those. All they would need to do is watch your YouTube channel for evidence. That is very true. Actually, honestly, I set things up the way that I set them up for a reason. And I do have conversations behind the scenes. Some stuff, y'all, some of y'all know that there's stuff that be happening that I just can't talk about. So, hey, you there is saying Corey might have an account too, allegedly. Oh, that would make sense. And he's young enough to kind of fall for the okie doke. Another reason why I'm sure Crooks is happy to have someone young. He's probably telling the, I'm gonna help you with your credit and da-da-da. And he's setting them up so he could use it and then probably destroy it before he dumps them. Everything Gucci is saying, all this sounds highly illegal. When is the federal charges I'll be watching? You and me both. Yeah, it's just, and the feds move slow. It's a lot. It's a lot for them, It's a whole thing. And there's a lot of tricks he plays to try to skirt the system and all that. So there's a lot to this. And then there's a lot of crimes against individuals and petty crimes. So there's a whole thing to this. Oh, yeah, she could civilly sue for lying, but he ain't never going to pay, just like Tasha K. Right, exactly. It would just not be worth all the headache of all of that. Y'all think he'll be banned from Vrbo soon? Well, technically, he didn't even rent this, though. You might want to say, is Crystal going to be banned? And if she is, just like, I think that was Hey You there just said, he'll probably move on to Corey, his videographer, next. Or, well, what's his name is older, so he might be too smart for that, and has been formerly incarcerated, so he may not go for it. I'm forgetting his name, but his sous chef guy, the one that's been with him longer, who was with him in Q. Y'all know his name. Put it in the chat if y'all know it. But the one where it was him in Q in the beginning when Darius first hired Cooks. No, that's not true. The first one was what was his name? Martell or something? That guy. That was a young guy. That was Ramon. Thank you, Vanessa. And who was before Ramon? The young guy. I'm forgetting his name right now. But anyway, Ramon and Q. Ramon is still left. And I think Ramon is a little older. He's street smart and all that stuff. So he might not let Darius take him to that level. No, not Juanito. Hey, you there? Juanito was a victim, a survivor. Well, actually, so was his name was Marcel. Thank you, Vanessa. Marcel. Marcel was his first, the first cook he ever. Well, that's not true. Bruce was the first. There's so much, y'all. That's so much. Now I'm about to go down a rabbit hole. Bruce was his first sous chef, so to speak. Got over on Bruce too. That's a story we'll cover one day. Then it was Marcel years later. Then Ramon and Q came after Marcel. We paid $400 for 6 of us for 4 courses and drinks. Yeah, TG Diamonds. I go out all the time with my friends, and like you said, we spend. It depends on what restaurant we're at. I mean, we've had bills that were close to $2,000, something like that dollars. But you get the experience. It's worth it. The food is good. This and that. You got so much. This is. Yeah, it's a mess. They ain't putting us in no garage. There's enough capacity for the air conditioner in the space we're at. That's another issue he has. He's putting these people in these Airbnbs that are people's personal homes that are not equipped to have 40 plus people in them, and it gets too hot in there. And then the DHAGs are, oh my God, Master, it's so hot in here. Oh my God. And so then he'll have, like, I think he rents them. He'll have those big industrial fans going. I don't want no damn fan blowing on me while I'm eating my exquisite meal. But he does that, and he'll have the fans blowing on him and all that. The reason is these houses can't handle that much body heat. Houses aren't designed like commercial spaces are. Another reason why you should get a commercial space, to make sure your participants are comfortable with the space in general, comfortable with parking, the environment. He has these ladies and flying monkeys out in all these different communities. Many of them, actually, some people was complaining a week or two ago. I've seen them many times, but just recently, a week or two ago, that wherever he had that particular event was in what they consider a bad neighborhood, and they were nervous. And I've heard that multiple times. I've heard people say, well, I'm not going because I didn't know it was going to be in this neighborhood. All that. He don't care about none of that. Right. Health codes, fame. TGGT is saying he's such a liar. He never has receipts. And what's up with him throwing up the 666s in almost all his YouTube thumbnails for his food reviews? I don't know. What is 666s? I don't know what that means. Is that satanic or game related? Either way, ain't good. But yeah, what I will say, TGGT, he does claim, because they'll call him the receipt king because they're so mindless, they're not realizing he's showing them a bit where there's this whole mountain of receipts. He'll grab one and be like, here's the receipt. See, I got proof that this happened. And it's like, meanwhile, I ain't gonna show y'all what's on my desk, but it's a pile of receipts that really belong to the story. He does that. And so they like, he the receipt king. Y'all want to mess with him. And it's like, no. This is the receipt king. What I just showed y'all is receipting. This is what real receipting looks like. This, not that. This is real receipting here. This is what receipting looks like, where you have a whole timeline that ties it all together. Listen, watch, and learn, children. This is receipting kinging. This. Well, we ain't gonna read that article tonight. This. Not that. That ain't receipting. Just lies. Just gaslighting. Gaslight. There's a difference between gaslighting and receipting. How many grown men are calling the cops and telling, like, they're in the elementary school, stating such and shook took my phone. Arrest him, officer. Right. Arrest him, officer. They should have taken him in for wasting time. Right. And he's just claiming there's a whole investigation going on with this, because when you have money and resources, girl, get out of here with this foolishness. And meanwhile, we still ain't seen this tape. Where's the video? We ain't seen. Now we got to do 2 videos behind, y'all. We're talking about receipts. He's two videos behind with receipts. He has already started trying to figure out his new scam. He talked about it today. Yes. What was it? Oh no, I think somebody wrote me explaining what he was talking about, and I like to have my receipts. So if I don't see it myself or have the receipts, I wait. But yeah, he definitely has grips. I know it's the Forest Kings thing. He's gonna continue to do the slanderous restaurant reviews. He's gonna be doing them out of the country a little bit. I don't think they're gonna play with him like that, but we'll see. They probably won't even know really, because he ain't worldwide like that. So he might get away with it there because they won't necessarily be seeing it per se. We'll see it over here, but they won't probably even notice what's happening. He had cookouts and, well, unless they start whooping his ass for the behavior inside of the establishments. Now that's possible. That's possible. TJ Jamin said he had cookouts and parties up to nearly 70 people in my house many times, but it was not like that. I had so much food. I left some on the grill for days. You left food on the grill for days and you tried to eat it? Ain't that that's you're gonna get bubble guts, parasites and stuff grow. How was you keeping food on the grill for days? That's not safe, serve safe, the temperatures and all that stuff. Now I know about all that. I've had much training in that area. And you said you had, because at first I was like, are you talking about Darius Cooks? I've had 70. Friend, don't leave no food out on no grill now. You got to put that in the fridge. It's got to be fridge or freezer. Write your date on it and stuff so you know how long it's been in there. I mean, if it's from a party, you'll probably remember. But don't leave it on your grill, friend. You can't eat that. Y'all know I like to have fun. Hey, you there? Okay, this last one. People need to start putting red receipts on their emails to him. Yeah. And people don't oh, you said you forgot about it. I see your comment now. Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about like you stored it over there. Stored it outside on your grill. But yeah, what was Hey You There just and I got rid of it. I forgot my train of thought. But anyway, I thank y'all again for a wonderful, wonderful live stream. We will see. There may be a special guest tomorrow. I'm not sure. You know, I can only guarantee my presence, but I can't necessarily guarantee other people's presence. So we will see. But I may have a surprise for y'all tomorrow. If not, I'm going live tomorrow. I'm just go live tomorrow. I'm committing in my head right now. I'm coming back tomorrow. I will be back. Am I doing something tomorrow? No, that's Wednesday. So yes, I will be back tomorrow, and we will have more. I don't know what, but we will have more. I was actually working on something before this drama happened, so we'll see. I don't know if I'm having enough time to dig deep into that. But thank y'all. Have a great evening. Thank you for the likes and all the super chat. Oh, thank you to my background moderators, Marianne Coker and Kimika was helping out, and then we out on front end, Alice, and I know I saw Trey Keisha at a point. I think I saw Donna Hammond, and I think I might have saw Precious. I'm not sure, but thank you to all of my regular moderators. And yeah, I'm sorry, it only lets me go so far back up. And Mr. Finest Wine, I know I saw him earlier too, and I didn't see Deshaun. Oh, here's Deshaun. And Deshaun as well, who is one of our new moderators. He just found out just this moment. To Deshaun, who is one of our new moderators on the YouTube side. I appreciate all of you. And until next time, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.